Nice to Mr. Arthur Woodson. I talked to him 3 times on the line today. I don't know, my friend didn't know. So I figured I'd bring him in.
Madam Secretary, the time is now 4:41. Calling this The time is now 4:42. We're calling this Special Affairs Committee meeting to order. Madam Secretary, roll call.
Mr. Al-Alamin,
Present. Present.
Dr. Lewis is not in. Ms. Johnson,
Present.
Ms. Priestley,
Present.
Ms. Winfrey Carter is not in. Ms. Burns,
Present.
Ms. Machette, present. Mr. Pfeiffer, Mr. Jared.
Present.
We have 7 members present.
We have 7 members present. Now we'll have the reading of the Disorderly Persons City Code subsection. Any person that persists in disrupting this meeting will be in violation of Flint City Code Section 3110, disorderly conduct, assault and battery, and disorderly persons, and will be subject to arrest for a misdemeanor. Any person who prevents the peaceful and orderly conduct of any meeting will be given 1 warning. If they persist in disrupting the meeting, that individual will be subject to arrest. Violators will be removed from the meeting. Are there any requests for agenda changes or additions? Any requests for agenda changes or additions? Seeing no movement, we will move on to public comment. Members of the public who wish to address the City Council or its committees must register before the meeting begins. A box will be placed at the entrance to the council chambers for collection of registrations. No additional speakers or slips will be accepted after the meeting begins. Members of the public shall have no more than 3 minutes per speaker during the public comment, with only 1 speaking opportunity per speaker. Madam Clerk, the first public speaker, please.
First public speaker is Michael Clack.
Good evening, Council. First, I would like to commend the council members who stood strong on fact and truth and refused to fall in line behind the mayor's $1 million Band-Aid proposal. It takes courage to stand on principle, and the residents of Flint recognize the council members who choose facts and transparency over political pressure. The mayor knew the water rate increases were coming. This did not happen overnight. In fact, the mayor himself called on the citizens of Flint to go to Detroit and speak at the GLEWA meeting about the proposed increases. The residents answered that call. We took time off work, we drove to Detroit, and we supported our city. But while the citizens showed up, the mayor did not. Our state representative did not. The people elected to represent Flint were absent, while the residents were left alone doing the job we elected them to do. If the mayor truly wanted support from this community, he should have come before this council and presented a real plan, instead of asking residents to do his job and using us as pawns for political points. Just last year, this administration used $2 million to absorb a water rate increase. Now we're being told another $1 million is needed to do the same thing. So here's the question most of us residents are asking. How long is $1 million supposed to help the people of Flint? How far will it go? A few months? Or just long enough to push this problem onto the next mayor? And the residents have been warning the city about these issues for years. Rich Jones has consistently spoken about the need to stabilize the water fund and bring balance to residents' water bills. Ms. Claire has been asking for $15 million for years to help the residents. These concerns were repeatedly raised, but always ignored. Now let's talk about Lansing. Instead of requesting $25 million for a nonprofit that doesn't exist, our state representative could have requested $25 million to help the city with these rising costs. Imagine what $25 million would have done for Flint's water system. In one of his many press conferences, the mayor bragged about his experiences. But experience should bring foresight, it should bring planning, it should bring solutions before residents are forced to carry the burden. So with all this state and federal money that has flown through this city, a simple question remains. Was there ever a question as to whether we should buy or could buy our way out of the GLEWA contract? Instead of long-term solutions, what the residents continue to see is political maneuvering, pressure, and at times even vindictiveness towards those who oppose certain elected officials. We're not asking for miracles, we're asking for transparency, accountability, and leadership that actually stands with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, the next speaker, please.
Next public speaker is Melissa Zambrowski.
Hi, my name is Melissa Zaremski, First Ward. I was disappointed the mayor blaming City Council for not approving this because he doesn't have a plan. Considering, he asked for $2 million last year. What is he going to do after the fact when he doesn't have any money of this or any ARPA money left over? Which I'm not even understanding, obviously, where this ARPA money went to, as some city council were supposed to get some and have not received it. A lot of questions there. The residents don't want to sit there and the city keeps saying, we're going to cover this, we're going to cover this, and then next thing you know, when we see our water bill, we're going to be like, holy shit, where did this come from? I mean, let's start thinking ahead here. And my other issue is, Leon, you do not live in the First Ward, nor have you lived in the First Ward. So I'm not even really understanding why you're in that seat. All I could sit there and hope the FBI ends up doing something. I really don't know. But all this nonsense that's going up here, apparently, Judy, you did get a nice kitchen from Ashley Capital, from my understanding. I won't forget about Eva Worthing, who got apparently a brand new bathroom. Liddell Lewis got, $1,500 in Halloween candy. Not sure what else she got. We seem to get a lot of people who are, in for themselves instead of the residents. LaShawn, I'm not going to forget about you neither, honey, because apparently, you won the lottery thing where you got a new roof, new porch, new siding, new windows, all that great stuff, where the residents have gotten nothing. You know, Eric May sat there and proposed, I think it was, 16 million or something years ago for residents to get help. We haven't gotten nothing. $94.7 million came to this city. And what has benefited all the residents, not just a handful of residents? I mean, I'm just not understanding. You know, I get it, it's election season, but if people look back at how y'all behaved and did residents and that, I really hope you don't win on re-election, especially you, Leon. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Next speaker.
R.L. Mitchell.
Hello, America. My name is R.L. Mitchell. For the record, for the peoples down there in Georgia, you see I'm carrying a Coca-Cola. I asked the lawyer to open it up for me. And she's so cautious, she said, "Did you shake it up?" There she is over there. She's supposed to be taking care of the peoples in Flint. But I said the peoples gave it to me when I first come in. Instead of giving me water to get a Coke. But they don't. I drank my first Coke in Georgia, a little small bottle. And when I drank it, it went through my mouth, it came out my nose. But they took all the chemicals out, or whatever, the cocaine out. But I'm saying this, pay attention to Madam Burns, because she called us to fix the pipes in Flint to stop this poisonous black peoples, that's all kind of, the rest, all peoples in Flint. Because like the other peoples, they can't get to the bottom of it. But I want you to know, the woman that killed Emmett Till, lied on Emmett Till down there, she just bit the dust last week. And that's what our mayor reminded me of. And they found out she had a warrant after arrest, after she died. And the mayor, the same way as she is, because the fireman sued the mayor, but he refused to give him $250,000 because they protected him. Like you southern peoples down south, detecting peoples who kill peoples, and they just hang them on a tree and make fun of like trick-or-treat, Halloween. Like Miss Priestley over there, Ward 4. Look at her, thinking what she gonna do to we the peoples tonight. And the president, the vice president calling the shots today, Miss Priestley. The Madam President ain't saying nothing because she gonna give it to the vice president. But we the people gonna sit back and if she can get the black man, the peoples in a food market, the Reverend, what's his name, Flynn, to open up the supermarket, and my college with deep pockets gave him $1 million, and they up there acting like Miss Priestley don't want to tell us how much money we got in the Apple Farm, how much you got to wait till the news brought that fake news outside in front of the sidewalk. So you people from down south in New York, stay tuned, because we finna deal with them whatever it is downstairs under our feet, or the little man downstairs, the mayor, and like I say, good evening, and stay tuned.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Next speaker.
Arthur Woodson.
Good evening. I spoke with Councilman Jarrett and Councilman Pfeiffer about an issue that is going on. I put some pictures up last week from Ms. Towner, and it showed where they were doing better lead-safe homes, where they go in, fix the windows, paint, do different things from state money. Michael Kopner, I had no issues or beef with. Matter of fact, I congratulated him on the job, talked to him. They took our grant that we wrote to do in-home plumbing, and I thought that he would do a great service for the people here in the city of Flint. But after I saw those pictures and videos, along with Ms. Jamerson, and after I started seeing all the comments and receiving all the evidence backing up their stories, this needs to be dealt with, and I mean immediately. Immediately. Why do they think the people of Flint deserve less? Why do they think we are subpar? Why do they think that they can do anything to us? Because they feel that the people do not have protection. I heard y'all talking about that the administration will not give y'all any documentation. Guess what? Councilman Mays said it all the time. Y'all have subpoena power. You could subpoena documents. They have to give it to you. We have to stop and really sit back and start listening to each other that really want to fight for the people. It's not the fact that we can't get along. It's the fact that the people who we are trying to help is fighting the people who's trying to help them. If I'm trying to steal from you, I am not going to work with you to give to the people here in the city of Flint. So I have to fight you in order to give to the people who deserve what Flint is trying to give. So it might look like a fight. You might want us to get along, but sometimes we can't. I never seen God ask the devil to come to the table and let's compromise for all the religious folks that's always quoting the Bible. It's not going to happen, especially not in the political world. You're going to always have Republicans, Democrats, good, bad, evil, good, whatever. We have to check this out. They have photos, they have videos. The company is cousins with Michael Carpenter, I'm hearing. It's a whole lot of stuff going on. And this needs to be checked out. And they stole their bottles. They stole her bottles and gave her $20, man. I'm serious, talk to her. She got the videos and everything. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Next speaker.
Darrell Brown.
It's Darrell Brown, just putting it out there. Darrell Brown, Seven Ward City Council candidate. So I just want to start off by saying I love each and every single one of you. When y'all doing good, I got y'all back. That's 100%. I'm all about the people, so when y'all looking out for the people, great job. When you're not, we have an issue. I wanted to bring some youth down here, right, so they can get the experience. I'm gonna let y'all know something. They are scared to come here. They are. That's an issue. They scared to come down here because they feel like the police is gonna get called on them. They seen some videos that have been surfacing, and I'm like, nah, come down here. It's not what you think. But when they see footage, I can't necessarily fight footage. You know, when people got taken out of here, that's the thing. I'm trying to figure out a way to, you know, go above that to get them here. Some way, form, or fashion, I'm gonna do that. I can say this. One thing we definitely need here is love and respect. Regardless if y'all like each other or not, you should be able to work with one another. It doesn't matter what's going on. And that's what I aim to do, is work with whoever's willing to work together for the people. It's not about no personal agendas or specific agendas or anything like that. But what's unique to me is some of the things I wouldn't expect for people to vote for, and they do. It only leads me to believe that there's backroom deals going on. I'm not calling anybody out specifically, but it's kind of strange. If you're not doing nothing to align your pockets or go with where the money is at, then you would do everything you can in your ability to look out for the people. You would bring resources here and keep resources here. That's in the job description, making sure we hold the mayor and also departments accountable, checks and balances, right? And then also, if anything, make sure that people aren't taken from Flint, but bring things here, the resources, and keep it here. They shouldn't have to go to Grand Blanc, Davidson, or anything like that. They should be here in Flint. One of the things that I want to do is bring community centers here. I'm not going to tell you where, just in case somebody try to steal my, no, I'm just kidding. I can tell you I do, like Pierce School, right? What they doing with Pierce School? Nothing. They built it up, they're not doing anything, but why not make that into a community center for the youth? So I'm about the youth, and I'm also about the elders as well. I love hanging out with the elders because I can learn a lot from y'all. You know, the ones that's been, I'm the youngest person, and I'm looking at each and every single one of y'all. I'm willing to learn from y'all. I am. Teach me something. And I'm asking, just as a resident of Flint, you know, if you really are the leaders that you say that you are, I'm going to ask each and every single one of y'all. I'm going to ask y'all for insight. If you can't do that, that's going to let me know something. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Next speaker.
Sarah Houston.
Hello, everyone. It's good to see everybody again. In case you don't remember, my name is Sarah Houston. I live in the 6th Ward. I am a lifelong resident. My parents, who are deaf, raised me here in the city of Flint. I have a son who lives here, goes to school at Michigan School for the Deaf. I'm a sign language interpreter of over 20 years and a strong advocate for accessibility in ASL. And I've been coming down here for a long time now, and yet and still, nothing. The mayor seems to be able to bring on a sign language interpreter when he sees fit, when it looks pretty damn good for him. I'm hoping he's changing his ways and going to do them all the time, but I would like to see them at every single event that's put on by the city, every single broadcast that is spoken on Facebook and YouTube. I would like to see them here at City Council. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of you guys ignoring a very huge population in this city. And I would like to know and hear if and when you guys plan to get up off of your behinds and do something about it. When is the budget supposed to be passed? Keep telling me, Judy, it's the budget, it's the budget. When is that? When you have things for staplers, you have things for paper. A little less of that may give a lot more to a deaf person, some information, some access to their city, their resources. And I'm just sick of it. I've been working and busy and not been able to get here. I don't have a lot of time. I got to babysit my grandbaby, but I came from work straight to here because I had time to come here and say, I'm sick of it. Do something. I'm glad to see that there are other people that are running for these seats. I'd be glad to see young people sitting in these seats, people that want to do something for their city, because I don't know what y'all want to do. This ARPA money, Band-Aid stuff, ARPA money is supposed to be for resources, not to fix a problem that y'all fucked up a long time ago. Excuse my language. It just don't make no sense to me. When are we gonna do something? Y'all keep standing behind that man on stuff and he's not doing nothing for the city. Just doing stuff to make himself look good. I'm just calling stuff as I see it. This is my personal life. I've lived here all my life. I love Flint. And I'm really considering leaving because I'm sick of it. Have a good day.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Next speaker.
Deborah Coleman. Deborah Coleman.
How y'all doing? My name is Deborah Coleman. I live in the 1st Ward. I know we have several issues in the city of Flint that are priority. The number one is the water. We need clean drinking water. We also need affordable water that we can afford to pay and don't have to be worried about our water getting turned off or scurrying around to all these agencies to get some help to pay the water bill. That's one of the main things. Another thing, I got a few questions. I got a water main break around the corner from where I stay at on Castle Lane. This going on the 4th week. I mean, the water just running. Nobody's done anything. They got some little stickers around there, but the water constantly running. We had the water main leak in front of Big John's that leaked all through the winter, had the roads icy for a little half a mile. That was really dangerous. They came to fix it and they made their own man-made sinkhole. I come roll over it, almost tear my car up. I'm just trying to figure out, I seen another, it's actually several main water leaks, and I'm trying to figure out why is all of a sudden we got all these water main leaks. And then another thing, the sinkholes. Y'all keep patching up the sinkhole in front of the hammer droppers. Y'all done patched that a couple of times. Y'all put Apsart on it. The one big sinkhole on 5th by Rallies, y'all put Apsart and kept filling that. We got one on Pengelly that y'all got dirt and rocks in. When you come down that street, rocks popping all up under your car. I just want to know who is over this, who is giving the okay that, oh, that's okay, that's done correctly. Who's doing that? And if we don't have, like Ms. Burns said yesterday, if we don't have enough staff to do things, bring somebody from outside to come in and fix this stuff. I mean, this our city. I mean, it's just terrible. And we need some things done around here. We need some people that's gonna stand up and stand up for us. And that's all I can say. You know, I'm glad everybody coming in. We need everybody coming in from the wards to come in and talk, because I figure if we get a lot of people that come in here and start talking to y'all and throwing this stuff at y'all, you know, maybe they'll see that everybody wants something to happen. Until we all stand up and come down here and speak our mind, nothing's gonna happen. It just seems like things are just being done how, I don't wanna say y'all, because I know a lot of y'all is working hard, you know, to make Flint better, but we need some help around here. We need some real, true help. We need some people that's gonna work together and get our city together. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. The next speaker, please.
Claire McClinton.
Good afternoon, Council. I'm here to suggest to you to stop doing the same thing over and over and looking for different results. Doing the same thing over and over and looking for the same results, which is usually bad and negative for the residents. Now, in 2022, City Council of Flint passed a resolution taking $8-point-something million out of the opera funds to pay a $300 credit for water. That's almost 10% of the whole opera fund that was used. Back then we said, well, what's the long game? That's a Band-Aid. How many of those people today water is off because they resumed the high water rates they had? Now, last year, you put an additional $2 million on the water fund. Now you want to put another $1 million. When does it stop? We need concrete changing solutions that's changed the whole trajectory of how we pay for our water. Just throwing money at the problem is not going to do it. We have a crazy water agreements and things that need to be investigated by capable attorneys and corporate people that know how to look into these things. We got 3 of you sitting on the KWA board, and nobody, to our understanding, we stand corrected, nobody is sitting on the GLEWA board, but everybody agree. Jesus Christ, Lucifer, and everybody agree they shouldn't raise the rates. They should not raise the water rates. But the division come in when you talk about what you're going to do about it. We had a damning report just a few weeks ago from Armanda about the status of the water, whose hundreds of people are facing shutoffs. Many hundreds more may be facing foreclosure, and what you're proposing about money added to the water fund because of the water rate hike is not gonna change that. We were in bad shape before Gleaver made that decision. 500 or 600 people signed signatures for a water affordability plan. Where is it?
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Next speaker.
Beverly Beggs Levy.
My name is Beverly Biggs Levy. I'm running for the 3rd Ward City Council seat. Liddell, it feels sad to be on the limb all by yourself. It's sad, but I know you big girl, you'll handle it. Leon, you guys need to pray for Kiki. I'm seriously. I sat by that woman this morning, and I was almost in tears, where she's gonna drop them charges on Leon. It is sad, really sad. She's doing what's best for her. I don't know it, I haven't heard it. But you could tell he doesn't threaten her in some kind of way. You can tell it, you can see it in her face. But you know what? God has something for him. He has something for him. We in this water rate, I had a flood around the corner from my house 2 weeks ago. The water was off for 2 days. Who's gonna reimburse us for them 2 days we ain't had no water? You know, we bought water, we had to go to different people's house to shower, all this kind of different things. Y'all not looking at the people. All you worried about is fat in your pockets. I got $10 here, I got $20 there. It's sad. We're gonna lose everything we got with this mayor. He did not get on the news until the day before we had to go to Detroit. That should have been dead a month ago. He should have been speaking about it every day, every day. It was not spoke about the water. They're gonna raise the rate. It was not spoke about it. It's sad that we are going through what we're going through, and you rubber stamps say give it to him. We had $40 million in the ARPA fund money. We had 2.8. Where did the rest of it go? You know, we got to wake up, people. Leon, I pray for you. You're a monster, and you know you're a monster. But you know what? You're gonna get yours. Your day gonna come. You can get it after I leave. You can say what you want to say about, I'm always criticizing you. You a joke. You the biggest dummy I ever seen. Y'all pray for Leon and keep on moving.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Next speaker.
Audrey Muhammad.
Alrighty, I'm Audrey Muhammad, 2nd Ward, also looking to get on the ballot for the 2nd Ward Council seat. Want to talk about the water main break that's right at my house. I made a phone call downstairs to DPW this morning, and they said it's 20 breaks that they have on record. Some have been over 2 weeks, and they're trying to fix the ones that's as a priority. Meanwhile, if people get water ran all in their house or wherever, they just going to have to suffer until they get out there to fix it. That ain't fair. That is not fair. If we got money in surplus, plus, like they say, bring somebody in. I mean, come on, let's be for real. You ain't putting the citizens first. Lights still out in the front. When we left out of here on Wednesday, they still out. I called back down here. I checked my phone records. It was February the 13th that I called down here, and the lights had already been out since at least January the 12th. It is not safe in the front when it's dark. What happened? Why is it not there? I'm going to say this. Candace and Judy, what the mayor said on Saturday about y'all going in and out of his office when you want to, and you were down there every week. If I was y'all, I would be ashamed to have that man saying that, and y'all ain't never got no answers to questions that's being asked of y'all. We done asked y'all to come up and bring us a report of how much money is left in the ARPA funds. Some of y'all been on here for 4 years, and you still ain't gave us no clear account of where the money has been spent. Maybe it was spent on those trash cans with that free campaign that he did with his names on the trash can, but I do have tape over his name in front of my house because I ain't advertising for him, because I ain't campaigning for him. He knows that. Let's think about that. KWA, 3 of y'all is named on the KWA board, Judy, Liddell, and the mayor. Get down there to Gleewood and make sure that somebody's on that board down there to represent Flint the way they supposed to, and quit letting us keep having an increased water bill the way we do. We know that you all have the ability to lower our water rates by going in, analyzing, and lowering what the service fees are. I know that. Eric Mays told us that years ago. God bless him. He's been gone for 2 years and still ain't nothing been done. Let's bring it up. Let's take care of the residents here. We should not have to incur the cost of what they charging to bring it here. If it was ARPA funds here, which we already know that money been misappropriated. That's the reason why we ain't never got no clear account of what happened to the money. But if you gave us a clear account and at least came in with some kind of a formulated budget, the city, then maybe the city council could approve a budget, approve money to come to you. I'm a citizen that's standing behind them. Don't approve it until they bring y'all something that you can see tangible. And don't give the police nothing as long as they beating the residents and mishandle them. The old man just came in here and said they arrested him and put him in jail and impounded his car.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Next speaker.
Monica Galloway.
That's right. Come on, Monica. Come on, speak.
Good evening, Council. I am present today at the invitation of the mayor via his press conference. I applaud the stand taken by the council. It was necessary to remind this community that there is still a water crisis. Let's define crisis. A time of intense difficulty, trouble, or danger, economic crisis. Type of event that is an unstable and dangerous situation affecting an individual, group, community, or society as a whole. A stage in a sequence of events at which the trend of all future events, especially for better or for worse, is determined. It's considered a turning point. This 30-year deal, which is actually a forever deal, requires your full attention and investigation. My question to this council, have you read the contract? How many price increases have been since 2018 when it took effect? This contract was always a bad deal for Flint, and Gleewood is exercising their contractual rate and rights. So for those two that said we want to, I'm just sharing with you as the council that was here in 2017. I remember when then State Representative Sheldon Neely came into our chambers in a closed session and said to this legislative body, 2017, do not vote for this Gleewood deal. Maintain your right to partner with the KWA. But we didn't have the courage to do what he then told us to do. I say to you that this contract is so deep, you guys. It says that if that contract is found to be invalid for any reason, that we would owe them every bit of money that they've paid. Last year, the KWA came before this body to vote for a refinancing of the bond. Why? Because you're still a partner on paper. During this Gleewood contract, the KWA pipeline that we should have never been a part of, but we were, was taken from us in that deal. So what would that $660 million have done for the residents of the city of Flint instead of getting a check for each family that needed to prove that you were poisoned just because you didn't die? One, you could have used that money to pay off our bond, That would have immediately caused us to not be in debt. 2, we could have built a state-of-the-art water plant that would have allowed us to treat the raw water that would have been, we would have become the suppliers and not the consumers. And so stand your ground, council. Don't let anybody push you. It's an election year for everybody. And you have authority. You are to this mayor what the Congress is to the president in Washington. Don't back down.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Next speaker.
Mary Ann Jamison.
Good afternoon. My name is Mary Ann Jamison. I'm with the 2nd Ward. I'm here today because the lead program through Michael Carpenter came in my home, did some work, and then they demolished my garage and did not replace it. They came up with some lies about, oh, you violated the contract and came back in the house. I was told to come back in the house. And they told me to come back in the house. It was safe. The city said you can come back in. It passed a inspection and everything. So when I come back into my home, me and my son, the first person that come back in was Darren, and he the one that called me and told me it was safe to come back in. He knocking at the door. Oh, y'all in the house. It's a violation. Why would I come back in the house and I know it's not safe to come back in the house? You told me to come back in the house. And there was a setup between him and Michael Carpenter. And I found out they cousins. What? They cousins. Whoa. They stopped me up so they can say I violated a contract, which was no contract. There was no verbal contract, and there was no written contract that they cannot replace my garage if I re-enter my home. There's a bunch of bull mess going on. Somebody pocketing some money somewhere. Somebody pocketing money, said they spent $77,000 on my house. They ain't spent nothing because there's no money that came out their pockets. That was from the government. I am mad. All my stuff was out of my garage on the ground with a top on it. And a lot of it got demolished. My tables, my dining table, my Creole tablet, all crunched up in a pile on the ground. I talked to several people, some of you from the council, from down here, and they passed me on to somebody else. They don't care. Y'all don't care about what they done to people's homes and what they doing around here. I'm mad. I want to file criminal charges on who all involved. You don't tear down nobody's property and don't replace it. You don't do it. It's against the law to do that. And somebody should care. Somebody should care. I'm from the 2nd Ward. If you don't care, I'm thinking about running for 2nd Ward because I'm going to help the people of Flint do their job and care about the people. I've been staying here for 50 years and I pay taxes. I am entitled to get help when I need help. And y'all need to get up off y'all behinds and do y'all jobs. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Next speaker.
This is the last public speaker, Lottie Durrett.
Good afternoon, all. I just got a few things to say. I think I recall the last meeting I was here, something about some money being given to some trucks or some people so they can start filling in and fixing those leaks. I thought some people came down here and asked for some trucks and some money so they can have the right equipment so they can, stop them leaks and them cracks in them roads. But I could be wrong, but I could have swore somebody came up here and somebody asked, would another truck be good enough? And this is the reason why y'all should get another truck, but I could be wrong. And then another thing, I still hear and said the water rate already went up. But see, ain't no wool over my eyes because I peep how 1 month my water bill one thing, then the next month is higher, then it go back to its original, and then another month is higher, then it's its original, like I'm stupid, like I don't know no better. I have had the same 2 people with the same 2 schedules for the last 10 years at my house. So that means either
something is being done wrong, because I know it ain't wrong on me. So either my meter is being read wrong or somebody pushing up them hikes on my water. But I could be wrong about that too. I might not know no better. Maybe I can't count past 3. I don't know, but the math ain't mathing. And another thing, while we talking all this home and people stuff, my cousin was hit the same way over in 5th Ward. People came in, left her house damaged, tore up, looking like it needed to be remodeled, refurbished. She paid somebody else to come in. She was so upset and hurt that she paid somebody else. She didn't even want to argue about it or fight about it. When people don't have confidence in their administration, in their people, don't look at us and say, oh, they ain't coming. People not coming because they don't have no belief. We believe ain't nothing gonna be done. So we looking at y'all like, oh, they sorry. They ain't no good. They ain't gonna do nothing. They lousy at their job. Nothing speaks good about what's going on down here, and Flint residents is tired. But you know what? You don't watch people when they loud. You have to watch people when they quiet, because bad boys move in silence. So you just have to watch when it's quiet. There's always a calm before the storm. I heard it's like 1,800 houses finna be up for auction off about water. 1,800 of them. They not telling y'all the truth. I'm telling y'all this next phase, baby. This next phase, y'all better get all y'all affairs in order with your water bills, with your taxes, with your foundations. I'm telling y'all they coming for that. That's the next move. They gonna try to condemn you out, tax you out, water bill you out. Trust me, I've been hollering this for the last 2 years. Go back to some of these meetings and what I've been saying. I saw that master plan in 2006. They can tell you what they want to tell you. I'm going to tell you what I know. I saw it with my own 2 eyes.
Thank you. Madam Secretary, to confirm, that was the last public speaker? Okay, it is now time for council.
That is correct.
It is now time for council response. Council members may respond once to all public speakers, only after all public speakers have spoken. An individual council member's response shall be limited to 2 minutes. Are there any council response?
Mr. Vice President.
Councilman in the 8th Ward.
Thank you. A couple of things. First off, Madam Secretary, can you please add a discussion item to the next government ops to discuss the lead paint removal program? And second of all, I want to address the mayor and his lies. And I've only got a minute and a half, and I know I can't cover all the lies in a minute and a half. So I think that it's telling when he had a call to arms to come down here in protest for the $1 million for that. And I can count on no fingers how many people came here and said that they wanted the $1 million. And there is no plan. And I would love to see a plan. To Ms. Claire's point, that what are we going to do with when the ARPA money is gone? And the ARPA money is gone. I mean, let's be honest with you, it's gone. More important, I mean, on top of that is we got the, like, Ms. Mohammed mentioned the trash, like the trash contract, we backstopped that with ARPA dollars too. So now we're going to have a double whammy with water and trash coming. So definitely be prepared for the tax increases there. I've asked for like a complete audit of where we are with the water department. I don't anticipate getting it. It's a sad day in Flint when we have been through the worst water crisis in history, in America, for sure, and we don't know the status in the livelihood or the sustainability of our water department. We don't. We're just going to keep throwing $1 million, but next year we don't have ARPA dollars, so I look forward to seeing that.
Thank you. Any other council persons for public response? Councilwoman in the 6th Ward.
We only have 2 minutes to respond, so I'm going to go really quickly, and thank you all for being here. And I agree with Councilman Pfeiffer 100%. Ms. Houston, I will be sending a referral to request for an interpreter because, and you are correct, and with Michigan School of Deaf being here, it just continues to be ignored. They can figure out for everything else, let them figure out how to pay for that. So I will be sending that. In regards to the GLEWA deal, we don't have representation. When that deal was signed, we were guaranteed to have a spot on that board. We have 0 representation on the GLEWA board. Not just that, when Mayor Neely was elected in 2019, he knew he would have a problem with that contract. He didn't do anything for the balance of 2019, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26. He has no plan. He does not. Now we're being asked to approve revolving loans. And guess what? When we get those, even though they're forgiven, they come with another rate hike. They're not giving unsecured loans for $29.6 million. They're not doing that. And they don't reverse that rate because it has to be secured. And so we look at all these things, and people should be concerned. They should. I did send a referral to our chief legal attorney about the GLEWA deal to look into see if it can be terminated, if there are any penalties, because GLEWA had Flint over a barrel. And she is actually looking into that. And I know once she finishes what she can do, then we will have a special order to discuss it, to be transparent. And so that was sent last week. She is working on it, and because we need to create transparency. And so I want to say with the water main breaks, they have hired one team. If you got one, report it. Report it immediately. That's my time.
Thank you. Any other council response?
Mr. Chair.
Councilwoman in the 2nd Ward.
Thank you. So I just want to make a few comments. The first comment is to Ms. Jamison. I know that she reached out to me about the condition of her garage pertaining to the lead project. Well, I just want to be really clear that and I want you to understand that just like you, we must go through administration to get this done. We can't act. We can't hire anyone. We can't go fix it. We have to go through administration. And so we must go through Mr. Clyde Edwards, who's sitting in the back. And so when we go through Clyde Edwards, he disseminated to Mike or Mr. Taylor, whoever the appropriate party is. So I encourage you to help us cut out the middleman, and please go back there and talk to Mr. Edwards. Furthermore, Ms. Deborah, who was talking about the main breaks. I definitely understand that as well. So again, we have a DPW director. His name is Clyde Edwards. He's sitting back there in the back. So if you have any questions, please refer to our acting DPW director. It's only so much that we can do from these seats. You know, we can ask for discussions. We can try to put things on the agenda for discussions. We can invite the mayor, and I know that he made the comment that individuals that voted no, they refused to meet with them. That's not true. I'm definitely open to meet with the administration that this city voted for, but we have to make sure that when we meet, we're meeting in truth and in transparency and honesty. So we have to be clear. No need to meet if we're not going to get the information that we seek. I call that a waste of time. So I would like to invite the mayor to please come to council and hear from council so we can have a dialogue about the ARPA funds and about the plan for the water fund. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other council members that would like to speak in council response?
Mr. Chair.
Councilwoman in the 3rd Ward.
I did talk to, I'd like to thank everybody for coming today. I did speak to Clyde Edwards and Ed Taylor today about the water main breaks that are on Kirkwood, Briarmeyer, and they are doing something about it. We have 23 water main breaks, okay? And they have to do the main streets first. But I am, and I have been talking to them, and we had one on Briar Miter that they said they had been trying to contact people, and they hadn't been returning their calls. So I'm getting calls because they know that I'm also running for the second ward. And they're asking, they are in process of getting the water mains repaired. So that is in process. We also had one on Kirkwood. I also called about that one as well. So they are in the process of getting these water main valves replaced. So they will be down there and they will be checking them out. So they do know, they have been contacted, and you should be seeing some progress this week or by next week. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other council persons that wish to speak during public comment? Seeing no movement, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chair, I make a
Yes.
motion to approve the, send the consent agenda to council.
There's a motion by the councilwoman in the 7th ward to
I'll
send
second that motion.
consent agenda to council, seconded by the councilwoman in the 4th ward.
Mr. Vice President?
Yes.
Total separation.
Total separation of the agenda. Madam Secretary, at this time we'll have a roll call vote.
No, he separated, so you gotta go to the
That's right.
first
We don't have
item.
to do-
Yep.
Thank you.
No problem.
Resolution 260071, rescind resolution.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I make a motion to, I forget how we have to do this. Send resolution 260071 to council.
There's a motion by the councilwoman in the 7th ward to send it to council. I thought I heard second by the councilman in the 1st ward. Any discussion?
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
So what's going on with this resolution? In 260071 is to rescind resolution 25039 1.1-T, which was $150,000 ARPA funding to North Flint reinvestment. Council had previously approved this, but what happened was in the resolution, the wrong entity's name was in there. And so this resolution is simply correcting the resolution that council had already approved for the $150,000 for the, and this is for the food market on the north end. And so this resolution is simply correcting that, putting the correct name in to where the funding is supposed to go so that that funding can get to the food market. And I will be supporting it. I yield.
Thank you. Any other discussion in the first round?
Mr. Chair.
Councilwoman in the 6th ward.
Who can speak to this? Who prepared the resolution? Nobody? Clyde, that may default to you.
Someone from the administration that can speak to the resolution?
Yeah, who prepared it? Oh, so he's Seamus now too?
26.
He the city administrator, he the
0071.
DPW, he the road signer, he's the chief resilient officer. It was a crossing guard. So, Mr. Edwards, some of these resolutions have been coming back, and it has been a problem with them that just error, that they're not being vetted properly before they're coming to us. So this one, the name has got to be changed, and this isn't the first one. I know, has St. Mark also been paid for theirs? And then I think there was a problem with Bethel. Who's completing these resolutions?
I don't recall with this particular resolution.
They got to change.
There was some name change. I did hear about that. We brought up the name that was there on the state of Michigan documents, because we do it by the state of Michigan registration documents, how they've been incorporated. So we get the name off of those everybody has to turn that in when they're being considered for financial purposes.
So this is just, it's the same So was the original one the wrong corporation, or are these two separate corporations?
Yes.
And so why
This
did we
gentleman
approve
is-
the wrong one at first?
The first one would have been the right paperwork that was submitted. Apparently, there was some name change that took place, or a name change needed to take place in order to secure these funds. That's all I can tell you about that.
So why couldn't we use the prior one? How long?
I have no idea.
Was it because, when I'm trying to think, I'm trying to think because it hadn't been in existence in through you, hold on, Mr. Chair, to the city attorney. Attorney Gurley, is it a reason why we couldn't use the original?
Not that I'm aware of. Now, the North Flint Market has several LLCs.
Okay.
And the one that was listed in the original resolution is active and in good standing, and the one that's here is active and in good standing. So I am not sure why there is a name change.
Well, so what is the difference? I'm trying not to laugh.
I have no idea, other than this needed to be submitted because it was
Who
suggested.
made the request to have it changed?
That would have been the person who put this together, probably was Jameis, and so I would have to go back to him.
Okay, Mr. Borley, how are you?
I'm good. I don't know very much about this either, but this is what happened from my understanding. They have a nonprofit and a co-op. They wanted the money for the co-op, but they're under the nonprofit. So it was just a matter of the name was put under the wrong, it's the same people.
Yeah, okay.
That's all this is.
Okay, so basically, it still goes to the food market. What about the use of the funds? I mean,
It would still be whatever it was resoluted.
so everything else stays the same?
Yes, that's my understanding.
Okay, your understanding. So Attorney Gurley, does everything stay the same? Just the name change, not how they can use the funds, the use of the funds?
We would need to look at the original resolution just to make sure, but from what is stated here, it is
Okay.
the same allocation for the same purposes. They're clarifying what the actual name entity it should go to. So both of them state that it's the same registered agent. So, I mean, we can always seek clarification from the North Flint Cooperative to make sure.
Is anyone here from there? No. Yeah.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Councilman in the 8th Ward.
So here's where I'm at. I understand that my colleagues want to pass this. I will be voting no matter what, but to me, isn't the North Flint Reinvestment also in charge of the the activity center? Is that under this one too? Because I want to make sure that my colleagues' intent was to make sure it went to the food co-op. So if it goes to the umbrella corporation that also is in charge of the event center, and these are general fund dollars, these aren't ARPA dollars, so they're not tied down the way ARPA dollars are. So, Mr. Edwards, how do we make sure that these are spent for the intention of my colleagues that they wanted to go to the food co-op? If it's still under the same umbrella as the event center,
As the attorney just pointed out, I think you got to go to the resolution and make sure.
I don't think that we put stipulations on the resolution. That's my problem.
That's my problem.
I don't think that there's stipulations on the original resolution. Maybe I could be wrong, but I think it just went. It was just a generic resolution that was. No, this was allocated after the $40 million went to our general fund. It's not ARPA money.
It's not.
So here, I mean, I think that someone from the North Flint Cooperative or whatever their name change is this week needs to come before us and tell us how these monies are going to be allocated for the food co-op. So that's my opinion. I'll yield to my colleagues, but I don't support this no matter what, but to me, I think we need to put checks and balances in it to make sure that it's
Request
used
for
for the food
information.
co-op.
On this, it does state ARPA.
Yeah, it's under the allocation, but it's not under the rules of ARPA spending.
So.
That's it.
The
it
resolution isn't binding to the Treasury rules. Once we
Okay.
allocated the 40 million,
Point of information.
I'm still in
What is-
line,
what is-
Judy, hold on a second, please. Because we need to do this, this doesn't, if we're changing this, we need to do it right, so they don't have to come back.
Okay. What is
that's-
your
Yeah.
My
point of
point
information?
is as I stated at our last, a meeting or two ago, that I learned that once we put that money in general fund, it now falls under the state regulations for how we spend the money, and ARPA rules no longer apply. So Mr. Pfeiffer is correct to that.
Request for information or point of information.
What is your point?
Be it further resolved that the appropriate city officials are hereby authorized to do all things necessary, including executing any necessary agreements to appropriate the amount in funding to North Flint reinvestment. Before the funds are spent, the City of Flint's ARPA administration, compliance, and implementation firm shall review and ensure compliance with applicable U.S. Department of the Treasury final rule and related federal guidance. Meaning whatever y'all are saying is incorrect because we have a resolution, and our resolutions are legally binding in law. So our resolution says it has to. That's what our resolution said before. That's what this resolution says now. So it has to go through that.
Request information.
What is your request?
My request, is this because the monies were put, the 40 million were put into the general fund, and once they were deposited in there or absorbed, that it no longer is ARPA funds? And so have we received something back from the Department of Treasury stating that once those funds were deposited, we are no longer required to go by the ARPA funds? And I didn't vote to put the 40 million in there.
yes, ma'am.
Point of information.
Miss in the, Councilwoman in the 6th Ward, once we allocated that to lost revenue, that was the allocation. I've been saying it for a
Point.
year now, that the ARPA rules no longer apply to anything of that $40 million. We say ARPA on here, but they are not applicable to the Treasury rules.
What is your point of information?
As I mentioned before, I have asked for a legal opinion on our resolution and with the status of where this fits into our ARPA regulations, or our ARPA resolution and how it works. And we have not received that back, and that is one of the reasons why I have not given any information, because until I have something from our legal department that absolutely says this is what it is, I'm not going to say it in person. However, from what I'm hearing from other finance departments across the state is that once you put it into the general fund, it no longer is ARPA dollars and does not need to follow the ARPA rules. So, but I am waiting for
I'm
that
glad you're
legal
finally
opinion.
admitting that, because I've been saying it for a year and I've been called a liar. I've been called a liar. So I just think that we need to have checks and balances. So I hope my colleagues leave this here and truly look into this to make sure that it's being allocated and spent according to your intentions of the food co-op. And I yield. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
I'd
Hold
ask
on.
for the floor.
Councilwoman in the 4th Ward.
Yes, so I am, all these shell corporations, LLCs, multiple ones, that they have nonprofit for the food market is very confusing. And now to hear that I was not in favor of this resolution, I've never been in favor of it, I'm still standing by that. Excuse me, I'm going to call you to order. So, but I share the concern of Mr. Pfeiffer, of Councilman in the 8th Ward, regarding what was the intent for the money, how is it going to be spent? If My understanding is that it was for the co-op, not for the reinvestment corporation. And then the property is owned by another corporation, and it's just all, it's all convoluted, and unless we have some specifics, I'm gonna vote against it. I always will, I always have, I always will vote against this. But there is some serious concerns, especially with the name change, when I believe the intent was for the co-op to have the money for operating expenses, and that is not the reinvestment corp who operates the co-op. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion in the first round?
Mr. Chair,
Let me make sure first round is,
I didn't get a chance to speak in the first round.
I was the first, or Tanya was the first, I was the second.
okay, go ahead. Councilwoman in the 7th Ward.
Thank you. Madam, through you to the attorney, Madam Attorney, in that be it further resolved, where it says what I just read, the resolutions, once they are approved by council, are legal and binding, so it has to go exactly how the resolution reads that council sent, correct?
That is correct. We just have to make sure that the funding is coming either from the strictly ARPA fund, or if it's coming from the ARPA replacement.
So, but this is the thing. We had the resolution that council passed stating that before that money was put in the general fund, that it would still be treated as ARPA money, correct? And that any of that money, before it could be spent, had to come through council, and correct? So that is the resolution that we put forth.
Okay, so that has to be reviewed, because I don't want to misspeak. I need to see that resolution, because, I mean, you guys did the ARPA replacement funding back in 2023, December of 2023. So I was not here. So I need to make sure of what were the constraints of that. Was there, because the way I've seen it, there's two separate ARPA funds. There's the ARPA that was dedicated to different organizations, and then there's ARPA for the general fund. So I think there's tracking that's going along with the ARPA that was put into the general fund, and they call that ARPA so that it's tracked. But once it becomes part of the general fund, then you have to abide by the regular rules of the general fund. So I have a meeting tomorrow with our investment group to go over these rules just to make sure, so I don't want to misspeak. But at this rate right now, the only thing I can tell you is that if
This resolution was approved contingent upon we're using the funding from the ARPA food access category.
Okay.
The resolution that we passed stating that the money would go into the general fund, contingent upon council, anything before it could be spent, that council had to approve. We approved this based on that.
Okay.
And so because that was approved based on that, I don't understand why we're all of a sudden saying that this is not subject to the ARPA rules as it states.
I think that's a question that you've presented to your fellow council persons, right? That is the question that Councilman Pfeiffer has asked, and the same question that Councilperson Priestley is asking. So what I've said to you is I have to ask the firm that is working with the city about how these dollars are being designated and what are the constraints. So I'm not gonna misspeak. That's all I can tell you right now. And I need to look at your first reso. I just have the one that's here. So the issue was supposed to be whether or not these dollars went to the right organization. And then it morphed into.
Correct. And all this is them serving as a fiduciary for the Food Mart. So that's all this resolution is saying, is that this organization is serving as a fiduciary for the Food Mart, and that our original resolution, only thing that's changing is who the fiduciary is for the money. Other than that, it's the only place that the money can go is to the Food Mart, because the resolution that council approved was only for it to go to the Food Mart, nowhere else. So that, for me, that's not even a question of where is it going. And my colleague in the 4th Ward, I'm sure she misspoke and didn't mean to be insulting, insinuating that people had shell companies. I'm sure that's not what she meant. But what I will say is, again, this reputable organization is serving as a fiduciary for the Food Mart. So the Food Mart can receive the ARPA dollars from the ARPA food category, from the ARPA food access category, which is what was approved and which is what this is. All of this is here in front of us is making sure that the fiduciary can get the money properly to the Food Mart. It's not going anywhere else. So again, I'm sure my colleague in the 4th Ward misspoke when she started speaking of shell companies. Maybe she was just speaking in general and not ruining names and reputations of anyone in Flint who serves Flint. I yield.
Thank you. Any other speakers in the first round?
Mr. Chair.
Councilwoman in the 2nd Ward.
Thank you. So on behalf of the residents of the 2nd Ward, and in addition to those that reside on the north side, that is a big reason why I supported this resolution. Because the value of a food market, it raises the value of your neighborhoods. I spoke before that the value of a food market, the value of having a food market within your neighborhood, it enriches property, it enriches investment. You know, when people are applying for grants, they look at, does the neighborhood have a school? You know, what's the condition of the school? Are they new? That specific area, they have brand new schools. And then they also look at groceries. They look at proximity to public transportation. So the food market is essential to this area. So that's why we passed it, and we passed it the first time. And so it is here because I believe that it was a misprint or a mistake as far as administratively. But they are just serving as the fiduciary. That's it, just the fiduciary, just the hand that makes sure that the funds are allocated to the appropriate places and that the funds hit the target. So I hope that my colleagues will not be, I'll say, moved in another direction, that we can continue to give the food market this money that they've been seeking for quite some time. If you go in the food market, you'll see it's a thriving place. It's beautiful. Very nice employees. It's a very nice thing that we can call ours on the north side. And so I'm very troubled to hear when them being referred to as a shell company, because just because on the north side does not mean that it's a shell company. But they are investing in our neighborhood, and through this fiduciary, they're trying to allocate funds that they rightfully applied for. And so if this body's going to grant them the money, as we did the first time, it's only fitting if we just continue to move forward with the good work with this process. And I also would like to just touch on the resolution 230464.1. It's near and dear to my heart because it was one of the reasons why I was recalled. It is for the transfer of the $40 million that we were talking about. And so it says in the resolution, it says that, that any expenditures or reallocation of these funds shall be made according to the plan approved by who? City Council. And only after such expenditures or reallocations have been specifically authorized by resolution of who? The City Council. So we are the City Council. So we have
Request for information.
What is your request?
Can the councilwoman in the 2nd Ward give that resolution number again for our attorney?
Absolutely, and I'll also send her a copy as well.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. It is resolution 230464.1, presented on December 20th, 2023. So, thank you so much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Any other speakers in the first round? In the first round. We'll move on to the second round. Is there any discussion in the second round?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Councilman in the 8th Ward.
Through you to the councilwoman in the 2nd Ward, I don't have that resolution in front of me. Does it state that the administration still goes through Ernst & Young for all of that documentation?
So, according to, I'll also send you a copy as well, because I sent
thank
one
you.
to Mr. Vice President. I do not see any mentioning of Ernest Young in this resolution. So, I will gladly send it to you and the attorney right now.
Thank you. Just to be clear, Ernst & Young hasn't overviewed any of the $40 million things. Any of the $40 million that this body has went to general fund and we claim it's ARPA, Ernst & Young hasn't reviewed any of those. Just heard from Paul. Just asked Paul 2 seconds ago. So Ernst & Young is not contracted to, are you going to provide some clarity?
Yes.
Okay.
No, yes, we are still sending any resolution that is discussed in council, that is ARPA, has gone to.
Paul just told me 2 seconds ago, I asked him clear as day, is any of the $40 million that was transferred to general fund, was any of those allocations sent to Ernst & Young? He said no.
You asked me if we were paying Ernst & Young for managing those funds. We are not.
So with part of the management is the documentation and the verification that the funds are spent properly, right?
They're
So they're doing it for free?
They are continuing to, they're still under contract, they are continuing to vet ARPA in every form. We still have conversations. We have a meeting every Tuesday to discuss ARPA, both the ARPA that is in the 287 and the ARPA that's in the 40 million.
So what are they verifying if they're verifying general funds?
Say again? I'm sorry, sir.
They are verifying the way we spend general funds out of the general fund?
No, they're making sure that the administration is compliant with its own programming that was set forth by City Council. We talk to them and say, this is a program based on what was approved in this bucket by City Council.
But what are they cross-referencing to the rules of?
They're not cross-referenced to the rules. They're cross-referencing to the fact that we stay consistent with what we put together.
So part of the initial, and I'm out of time, was to manage those funds, and they're not doing that, so they have a separate contract?
No. No, there's no separate contract.
Thank you. Any other discussion in the second round?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Councilwoman in the 6th Ward.
So, are all, Clyde and you and Mr. Borley, through you, Chair, Mr. Chair. So here's the concern, because this isn't going to just be a problem with this organization. It's going to be a problem with anything how much is left in ARPA funds? That's not because we've been asking how much is left in ARPA funds, what's allocated, where the funds spent, and we just can't get it. I've been asking for it for over 2 years. Councilwoman Lewis stated she's been asking for February maybe 4th and 8th. It's been over 2 years. Where are these funds spent? Because if we're spending them now, and the mayor said on his press conference where he threw council underneath the bus, he stated council knows where this money is at. Council knows it has been absorbed into the general fund, the 40 million. So how are we looking at these funds? That was his press conference, not mine. So how are we, if we're looking general fund and we're hearing and stating, is Ernst & Young giving an approval or a denial when you're meeting with them on Tuesday? And it's like a Zoom meeting that you're having? Or is it in person?
It is a Zoom meeting right now. It has been a Zoom meeting, and we talk to get clarification.
So they're not given a written approval or denial. You get clarification like a verbal consult, because this is general funds and it's not ARPA.
They give us a clarification on the appropriate use based on the way that we programmed or wrote our programs for ARPA funds.
So the mayor said we're using general funds, and we have a healthy general fund. And that, we know that 40 million for the 5 who voted for it, they know where it went, and it was absorbed into the general fund. And so, I mean, and here's my thing, we're gonna have this problem, not only with this organization, but with every organization. If they're not giving you a written approval on a spreadsheet, they used to give you a spreadsheet. Are they giving you any spreadsheets to let you know if it's approved or not approved? Mr. Drzezinski, does he, Ernst & Young, do they let you know?
It is
Other than they're just guiding you verbally?
all of that, all of the qualifications of dollars spent are contained in a dashboard. We do have a dashboard that they look at and we look at.
Mr. Chair.
And see, and so the city attorney is stating we.
Discussion in the second round. Councilwoman in the second ward.
Thank you so much. And so, through you, Mr. Chair, to Mr. Edwards. The ARPA team, I guess, meet every Tuesday. So seeing that how me and Councilwoman Priestley were on the ARPA team, we are the council representative, why haven't we been invited to any of these meetings?
I am not sure why, other than it is the administration's team that has been involved and is directly working with, as it always has been, the administration's team directly working with E&Y.
I don't know why either. And again, that's troubling. So I know you just mentioned the dashboard, how things are on the dashboard. Why don't y'all just print the dashboard and bring it up here? We've been asking, I've been asking since, on paper, since February the 4th. And then I sent the email saying, we're going to discuss it February 8th. No discussion, no nothing. Last council meeting, I put it on the agenda, I attempted to, it was taken off. No discussion, no nothing. You all coming up here with no discussion, no nothing. And it's sad when we hear, you know, us being accused of, you know, stopping the city business, when honestly, administration, you're in violation of stopping the city business because we asked for some documents so we can make a lucid decision, but you won't give us what we need. So, this is no vendetta, this isn't anything personal, this is just two things can be done at once. All we have to do is give us the information for ARPA so we have an understanding of where we're going from here. And please preview the resolution that says none of that money can move unless this body approves it.
Request for information.
What is your request?
What is this ARPA dashboard that you speak of? Do you have access to it?
I'm not even invited to the meeting, so I'll ask through you, Mr. Chair, to our speaker again. So what is this dashboard that you speak of, and do we have access to it?
It is just a tool for all of us, meaning the administration, to understand what has been taking place so that we can come here and share information.
But you all come here with nothing. And
I disagree with that.
And you're not sharing it with.
I disagree with that.
Pardon?
I said I disagree with that. We have come here every time we presented or brought a program with the resolution. There is a
great point. You mentioned program.
Yes.
So when you say program, are these the mayor's programs or our programs? Because we haven't put for any programs. So what are your programs that you're talking about coming from these dollars on this dashboard that you give us information for?
The programs are the ones that you authorize and the buckets that you authorize them for the organizations that you authorize. And we bring every single resolution to council that outline that information. Every approval comes from you before we distribute the money.
Thank you.
Mr.
Any
Chair.
other speakers? Councilwoman in the...
Thank you. I just spoke to the city attorney, and she meets with Ernst & Young tomorrow because we do have a general fund and an ARPA issue. And so we need to make sure, because that is the legal department's responsibility to vet, we need to make sure, I don't know whose time is left, because I've spoken.
Yep.
You haven't. So I know that the city attorney will be meeting with them tomorrow.
Yeah, was there a motion that you were making, or did the councilwoman in
I'm
the
gonna let her
seventh
speak.
ward
No,
want to
I
speak?
get it. I'm gonna let her speak. Because it may be some.
I mean, I'll take my time, but I've already said what I had to say. I'm in support of moving this forward because, again, as the city attorney pointed out, the only thing that is before us right now is whether or not we're going to change the fiduciary. So this doesn't change this resolution of whether or not we're going to allow them to serve as the fiduciary to give the food mart the $150,000. Even when she goes back, I mean, obviously that is something that is pressing for council to get an answer to moving forward about what is a legally binding resolution that council approved, therefore it has to be followed, but I'll let the attorney come back and tell us that. But
Request for information.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry, I'm not the chair.
Oh, yes.
The request?
Right.
I'm sorry.
To you, do we, if it is general fund, do we need to change the resolution because it says City of Flint ARPA? I mean, and I think we need to make sure we're wording our resolution correctly.
So the only reason
And
I was.
that's what the city attorney had stated.
Okay.
I would agree. I mean, at this juncture, you need to make sure that the language is correct so that when you go back to check to see where the funds are coming from, you know exactly what that should be.
Sounds good. I make a motion to leave this here in special affairs.
There's a motion to leave Resolution 260071 in Special Affairs by the Councilwoman in the 7th Ward, seconded by the Councilman in the 8th Ward. Madam Secretary, roll call.
Dr. Lewis,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Ms. Priestley,
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter,
Yes.
Ms. Burns,
Yes.
Ms. Mashat,
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer,
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett,
Yes.
Mr. Al-Alamin,
Yes.
9 yes, 0 no.
Vote is 9 yes, 0 no. Resolution 260071 will remain in Special Affairs. We are now moving to ordinances.
Nope, we're on
Oh,
resolution.
I'm sorry. Put these back on. 260082, collective bargaining
Mr.
agreement.
Chair,
Yes.
I make a motion to send resolution 260082, the collective bargaining agreement, City of Flint, Flint Police Officers Association to council.
Motion to move 260082 to council by the councilwoman, councilwoman in the 7th Ward, supported by the councilman in the 1st Ward. Any discussion?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, councilwoman in the 6th Ward.
Thank you. So, we do now have the figures that Mr. Moore or Mr. Borley, I don't know which one, we were waiting on the figures, and I want to say this. I didn't appreciate the mayor gaslighting this community because we were not holding this up. But when you come unprepared with figures that we shouldn't have had to have asked for, no one said that they weren't supporting the police, but that was a soundbite for him, and it just wasn't true. We had 0 figures on how much for each year that this contract would cost. We had nothing. So it was basically saying, here, vote on it. We now see that those guaranteed 5 votes aren't here, that we all have to do our jobs. And that's the way it should have been all along. And so, Mr. Moore, so thank you for you and Mr. Borley said you would have it ready Monday. Thank you. We appreciate that. So can you tell us about the cost? And you did state that you felt it was comfortable enough that the city could afford it. You've got the floor. Can you tell us about your figures?
The first year, we estimate that we'll spend no more than $600,000. We have calculated the retro pay, and we estimate that's going to be, if it was paid out as of the last payday, It'd been about 280,000.
280,000?
That's correct.
And how long would it take before our officers receive that?
Under the contract, we have 30 days to calculate it and pay the officers. We'll obviously have to wait until we get the timesheets again before we can calculate it. So it'll be after we get the timesheets, and then we'll start the calculation again.
Okay. And so this is a 3-year contract, and it's going to become effective.
It'll become effective as soon as the city council takes action.
Okay. So I appreciate you getting the figures. And how many officers will this affect?
61.
So 61, and it's just our patrol?
Right, that's correct.
Okay. So our officers, and I have talked about the chart. So they are really now up to about the rate that on that chart that they're still, I think, below University of Michigan. They're going to be just about equal with Grand Blanc, maybe 6 or 7 other agencies, but it's just equal. So for me, when I look at it, is this really a great deal? I'm not going to say it's a great deal, but they voted on it. Because here's the thing, the municipalities that get around the same pay run about 4 to 7 calls. Flint police officers are running anywhere from 20 to 30 sometimes. And so they're working 5 times as hard for the same pay. And they get burned out. And so we know it's campaign season, so for you officers, you will be a bullet point as he asks you to endorse him on there, but this was not your best deal. It was not, because you work 5 times harder. The municipalities that don't have homicides, opioid crisis, you don't have 20, 30 calls or 50 calls on the board when you come in to where you never are able to catch up. I appreciate what you do, but you deserved more than this to retain you. You deserve more. But you will be a campaign bullet point that he got you this greatest deal, which it actually states this is the largest financial increase for police officers in the history of Flint. But it doesn't speak about the fact that you were left behind for years. It does not. Thank you for serving and showing up. I hope that this helps to improve, but your next one, you need to make sure, when Councilman Mays was here, he made sure he appreciated and told our officers, you deserve more. And understand that you're doing 5 times the more work, and you're appreciated. This should have been more, but I will be supporting this. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion in the first round? Councilman in the 8th Ward.
Yeah. I want to just ditto what Councilwoman Burns said. During the committee meeting, at no point did any council member state that said they were in opposition to this. They were asking questions about cost. And I even spoke to the police officers that were here and the union people were here and told them that we just want cost. So them to pull, the mayor to pull them into the press conference and basically, in other words, calling us terrorists for not supporting this is absolutely ridiculous. It just boggles my mind on how much he wants to just throw fire at council and try to cause chaos when at no point it's for the fact that anyone on this council wouldn't support a pay increase for our police officers when we were just asking questions about cost. It's funny to me. Mr. Chair, through you to the secretaries, can you add this executive summary to the record so that this is on the meeting minutes? I want to make sure that this is part of the record because this is the only thing, someone going back in time would not be able to know what the cost was because unless they watch the meeting. So I want to make sure that this written cost is part of the meeting minutes. So that's my request. And I think Councilwoman Burns stated clearly that our police officers are overworked and underpaid. They have been for years. And of course, you know, we all knew that this was going to come during election season, that you were going to, you should have held out for more. I mean, to me, you guys could have got 10 or 12% and got paid more than the county. I don't know why you guys didn't hold out, to just being honest with you. And you probably would have got full support. So it is what it is. Thank you. I yield.
Thank you. Any other discussion in the first round?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Councilwoman in the 7th Ward.
Thank you. I am in support of this, as I've been in support of this. I feel like this is one of those things that we're long overdue. We constantly talk about our retention numbers as far as officers are concerned and them leaving. One thing about it, whether we like the terminology or not, it is historic because we've never had this many officers vote yes on an agreement. So that's the thing that makes it historic. Certainly anyone who risks their lives by going out and going into all of the situations that our police officers end up in and our firefighters, you deserve an amount of money that I don't think anybody is able to pay you. And I think that when the time comes for you all to get more, because you certainly deserve more, I will be standing behind you to get that as well. But we are here today to vote for you to get what you all unanimously voted on, and I am in full support of it. You will have my yes in special affairs. You will have my yes in council. I yield.
Thank you. Any other discussion in the first round?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Councilwoman in the 4th Ward.
I've always been unwavering in my support for our police officers and in the fact that they have been underpaid. The wages that our officers get, as our councilwoman in the 7th Ward has stated, have been notoriously low. They are overworked. I've spoken to several officers, and they tell me, one person told me he had like 3,000 new cases for the year, and that was in September, if I'm correct. We can't stay up on top of that. Maybe this way, by increasing our pay, we can recruit more officers to come to Flint. And Ms. Mashat and I have also been discussing about options on what we can use to incentivize police officers to come and stay and live in our community. So I am 100% behind this contract. I wish it was more, but it is a negotiated agreement, and I have always stood by that and said that all wages are negotiated, and I stay out of that. But I am going to proudly support our officers, as I have done since the day I was elected, and vote for this contract. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion in the first round? Councilwoman in the 2nd Ward, are you?
Sure, I'll take the floor. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm 100% for it. I echo the sentiments of my colleagues. I don't think they get paid enough for what they have to endure. But in the meantime, yeah, they are here, and as long as they are pushing to be Flint strong, we are pushing right along with them. And so thank you for bringing the information that we needed. So through you, Mr. Chair, to Mr. Pfeiffer, so were they supposed to put it in the resolution, or is it good to go?
Obviously, that would have been my preference, but it should be in the resolution, but that's why I added this, because there is nothing in the resolution. They didn't change the resolution, so that would have been my request, yes.
Through the chair.
All right.
I'm sorry, I'll wait. Oh, well, through the chair, this resolution, as it's reflected here, is the way that the resolution is normally written. So that's why it wasn't changed, but we made sure that the actual tentative agreement was attached to it so that it is for the record as well.
Thank you, Madam Attorney. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Councilwoman in the 5th Ward.
I do want to say that I support this resolution 100%. As a council member that has been here since 2017, I was elected in 2017, I have always supported the police officers. I remember when I first got elected, you all had went into negotiations and you got a raise, and you hadn't had a raise in years. And I thought that was ridiculous. But I do think that you deserve more than what's here listed. And I want to say that I resent the mayor having a press conference and you know, calling the council, members of the council, obstructionists. We never said that we weren't going to vote for this. We want numbers. I will never vote on anything without knowing the financial implications that it will have on this city. So if I'm an obstructionist, so be it. I'll continue to be an obstructionist. And then I'm going to say, Mr. Moore, as our CFO, I would hope in the future that you would come prepared with the numbers, okay? We need numbers because we hold the financial purse string. The council does. We make the decisions. We vote. So with that, I'm going to support this. But in the future, I would hope that you would come prepared with all of the numbers that you may think that the council members would want to have to make an informed decision. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Any other discussion in the first round? Any other discussion in the first round? Then I'll take a few minutes here now and also state that for me, in between the getting of the introduction of the resolution by way of an email and public notice that there's a special meeting being called, I think the day before, and then the information that was shared and discussed in closed session, for me, I felt for as deserving as those that serve are to receive increase, it would have been irresponsible of me in my fiduciary capacity as the council person in the 9th Ward to approve that resolution without understanding the financial impact to the citizens and the taxpayers of this community. So in that's why I was unwilling to approve it in that evening. But even in it not being approved that evening in that special city council meeting, there was desire of council persons to want to see this happen for our officers. That's why it got moved to this meeting, so that we could get the information that was committed to us, so that it can now go to a regularly scheduled council meeting, where I believe what you're hearing is this is one of those resolutions that likely will go 9-0, which it should, given good information being presented to us at the point of introduction. There should be more 9-0s than 5-4s. You provide, and I guess I'm looking at you, and I don't mean for you to take this personally, so I'll look up. You, Lord, provide for us a resolution that not just is sentimental or could pull on heartstrings, but is for the betterment of all, that makes sense in all regards, I believe you have a council here that will and does want to support this community. We are not by nature, and I'm going to speak to this, and I'm not going to be long in it. We are not by nature obstructionists, and that's all I'm going to say, because I'm not going to do back and forth. But we are persons who want and have taken on a responsibility to work in the best interest of not just our individual selves, but the community at large. So that said, I'll yield the rest of my time in this round. Any discussion in the second
Chair.
round? Yes, Councilman.
So
Nene.
just to be clear on what the city attorney stated, it is correct. This is the way that our resolutions are written. However, when we ratified the AFSCME 1600, we got a staff review that said financial implications and the dollar value. So I just want to, and that's what we were asking for. Like when we ratified the 1600 contract, we got it. Staff review form. We got nothing with this one. And that was our problem. If we would have got the staff review form that said the financial implications exactly the way the 1600 one was, there would have been no issues, and it probably would have been passed on Wednesday. But we didn't get that. We got nothing. So just to be clear that this one wasn't precedent. Giving us no numbers wasn't precedent. So that's all what this council did, is make sure that, and we still didn't get a true staff review. We got a makeshift executive summary with bullet points for the political mailers. But what the mayor did and what you guys did, you're not providing a financial or the staff review form with financial implications, is you created an opportunity to make this political when it should not have been political. There was no political ill will on our side other than to get the financial implications of it. So shame on the mayor, and that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion in the second round?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Councilwoman
Thank you.
in the sixth ward.
And thank you for weighing in, and I appreciate the sentiments of all of my colleagues, every last one of them. And is that Kramer over there? Through you, Mr. Chair, can I have Kramer come to the podium, please?
Officer Kramer.
Congratulations on your promotion a few months ago. So let me tell you this. Thank you for what you do. And I know that it's not an easy job. And I know it's going to be a hard temptation because he's going to ask for an endorsement for the union. I would ask that you probably resist that. He didn't get your best deal. He got the best deal for himself because that's what he likes to do. Everyone on this council has been saying our officers need more. That is the one thing to be paid more that they have agreed on. This mayor has consistently divided this community, which makes it hard not only for us, but for you when you're out there with broken promises, mistruths, and calling people demon seeds. He does that. You guys come in and do a job, and it's not easy. And you do it with not the support that you need, but very few, often other cruisers or police units on the street. And that's hard to do. And you have to be here. And that's hard to do too. It's hard. And so that press conference, I know it was uncomfortable for the officers because he used very explicit language, divisive tactics, and political trickery is what he did. We support you. He gave us no numbers. There were 0 numbers. And we have a responsibility to say, hey, how much is this going to cost? If that had been done, or even 2 weeks before, or whenever, it is the ineptness of this administration that he had the gall to feel he could bring this without us asking a basic question: can we afford it? It wasn't that we didn't want to help, it was can we afford it? And now that we got the numbers, I appreciate Mr. Moore and Mr. Borley. They kept to their word. You know, we're telling you we're going to approve it. Is there anything you'd like to say?
I just want to thank everyone for being here and actually going through this. I will say that one thing is, we've never wanted to be any kind of political pawn in any arena that we've ever dealt with. We just want to go to work and get paid what we deserve. And we believe with the 60-0 vote, that's what we deserve right now.
I think you deserve more.
We might want to deserve more, sure, but
Yeah.
we actually want to have the city
You work
survive
harder than
too,
other
so.
townships and other municipalities, and thank you.
That's understandable, man. Been here for 29 years. I can deal with it.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other discussion in the second round?
Through the chair.
Yes.
I do just have one other item that I'd like to add to this, is that not having the staff review really was inadvertent. During this time, the police had ratified, well, they had voted 100% to accept this deal. We also had to have the budget in by the first Monday in March, which was March the 2nd. So the Friday before is basically what we were trying to make sure that we get the budget in. And so this staff review did fall by the wayside, which is why you have the executive summary today. So we're not trying to conceal information. Your resolution that adopted the budget for this year also stated that council would approve wage increases for the collective bargaining agreement. So we were in that vein, but it was not something that was trying to be withheld from council. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Secretary, we're going to go to the roll call vote. Well, hold on. Before that, is there any other discussion in the second round? Just to make sure I open the floor. That being said, or no movement, Madam Secretary, roll call vote to send 260082, collective bargaining agreement, CBA, City of Flint, Flint Police Officers Association to council.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Absolutely, yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Al-Alamin?
Yes.
Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
9 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 9 yes, 0 no. 260082 will go to council.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now we can go to ordinances, right?
Yes.
All right. 2500414T.
Mr. Chair. I make a motion to leave ordinance 250414-T, Code Amendment Ordinance, Chapter 35, Personnel, Article 5, Working Conditions and Special Affairs, because I'm waiting on some numbers.
So is there a motion to leave 250414 here in Special Affairs by Councilwoman in the 7th Ward, supported by the councilman in the 1st Ward? Madam Secretary, roll call vote, please.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer? Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Al-Alamin?
Yes.
Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
The vote is 9 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 9 yes, 0 no to leave ordinance 250414T in Special Affairs. We are now entering our special orders discussion item. Item 260069, discussion item, service line replacement update. A discussion item as requested by 6th Ward Council Member Burns regarding an update from the administration on the service line replacement project to include completion date, restoration, particulars, etc. We will do, is 15 minutes? We'll start off with 15 minutes, and we'll give the floor to Councilwoman Burns.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, to you too, is Mr. Edwards, thank you for hanging on the sideline. You didn't have to walk from in the gated area. Could you, Mr. Edwards, could you tell us where are we at in the service line replacement? Because now we're coming up on spring and for restoration. And do you know, when I spoke with Eagle, Eagle said we had about 900 more service lines and about 800 restorations. Do you have numbers?
Yeah, I took the requests because, as you know, the state's fully in charge of this last 1% of replacements. So they want a certain messaging. You know, they're engaged in a certain kind of aspect, process, everything. They set it up. They were going to provide me with documentation that I can share and bring forth to the council so that we have exactly what it's supposed to be when the project starts. You know, they're going to talk about all of that, when it starts, what the expectations are on the vendors, the number of restorations, the number of line replacements. So, yeah, I'm going to bring that document once it's completed and approved. Then then I'll be bringing that document forward.
When are we looking to receive that?
I should have it at council committee, at your next council committee.
Oh, when, okay.
Yes, I will bring
Okay.
it to your next council committee.
Because they usually start when we know that the ground is unthawing because we got a bunch of water main breaks. So they should be starting pretty soon.
Yeah, the
then.
projection, and we have another conversation. We have regular Wednesday meetings to discuss procedures and the process, and with the vendors and everybody that's involved in it. So the projection now is supposed to be around the end of this month. If everything goes right, they have various measures that they have to go through, just like we do, to be funded. So they have a small amount of funding left from last year that they're going to use to appropriate, but they still have to, excuse me, they still have to go get the larger sum of funding to finish the project. So, yeah, that's where they're at. They go through the same channels, except they're bigger. They have a lot more layers to go through to get their approval, so.
So are the numbers around the same? You're saying the last 1%. So are we looking at, are those numbers, because Eagle said around 900 and then 800 restoration. So are those numbers around the numbers that you think, or you want to?
Both are under, to be safe, I don't want to give anything exact or otherwise.
Right.
It'll be in the document. But to be safe, both are under 1,000. I do know that much.
Okay, and that's what.
Restoration and line replacement, they're both under 1,000.
And that's what, when I spoke with Mr. Oswald, that he had stated, because there were concerns when the news and fictitious news articles were stating all the service lines are complete, all the restoration. And when that went out, there are some people, a lot of people fixed their own properties for restoration. It's been so long. But there are some diehard holdouts who said, I didn't break it, I'm not fixing it. And they mean it. And so when those types of messaging is sent out and it's not true, there are people who are still waiting. They want it to be completed by the people who destroyed it. So our next council meeting, and can we make sure, will we all get copies of that?
Yes, that's
Okay.
no problem. But I would add I understand what has been communicated in various forms, in various situations, but I would stress this last group of people have been a more challenging group of people to address the problem with. So, I know we're talking to an audience beyond here,
Yeah.
that people need to be available because their plan is this time, they're going to sweep through. That means they're going to come to your house, they're going to be ready to do the job. If they can't get in, they can't get to you, they're cutting and capping you. So there's not gonna be a lot of, they don't wanna keep going back and forth from one side of the town, from one street to the other street. They wanna keep moving right on across the city.
So are they gonna, because I never understood how they did it in one place, like, they did my neighbors, but
We
didn't
were
do
doing a
mine.
lot of, when we were doing it, we did a lot of jumping back and forth.
Right, there was a lot of jumping, it was
Yeah.
not consistent. And to me, it just made sense that you're doing the street,
Yes.
and it was not done that way. And so are they looking at a new way of prioritizing? Because there were people who just said, I'm not gonna, I don't want people in my house. So are we changing those people's whether they want it or not?
They're going to,
Because that is a city,
there's
the
the-
service line.
There's
is-
the street side.
Right, and then it's
the right-of-way side, and then there's the property side, the
Right.
homeowners. They have to be available on the homeowner side to make sure and check the line so that they don't have problems in their house. That's the reason for coming in, is you need to check the line. The line is connected to the right-of-way side. It could be good, but if it's not appropriate at the right-of-way, something else could happen in the house. So
Well,
that's
I
the
can
reason.
tell you this, they did not check inside my house. And I literally made sure I was home, because I wanted to see them dig the hole myself so I could look down in it. They did not, and there's a lot. And so I think.
Did you provide consent? That you
Yes.
had to sign the consent?
Who want to have water that you can't drink or bathe in? Come on. I mean,
Well,
I'm
just
not
telling
that
you,
person.
The
I
only way
did
they can
provide
come to your
consent.
house is consent.
What
You
they
have to
end up
provide
doing was
consent.
sending somebody out after the fact because I questioned it. After the fact, which, this issue was unprecedented to begin with. But there were inconsistencies in it. So next Wednesday, or our next committee meeting.
Next committee meeting.
We should receive.
Correct.
Okay, and we'll receive an update, and this is what the state is doing, I think LGC Global.
Well, they have
They're
they're
different
working
contractors?
with the provider, that's, yeah.
Okay.
They're
Well, we
under
don't have
contract.
that many now that's here, and I know Detroit is changing 250 service lines a week with updating their infrastructure, and so a lot of those contractors are down there in Detroit area. All right,
It's about cooperation, though. We need the
yeah.
cooperation.
Yeah. All right, thank you, I yield the floor.
Thank you. Any other council members have discussion on this item? Any other council members with discussion on this item going twice? Go ahead, Councilman Nate.
Can you outline to us what is going to be on this report that you give us? Like, as far as, is it just going to be strictly numbers?
No, it'll be structurally explaining some of the process as a part of it too. Just what I just got through saying, how they want to get consents, move across the city, cut and cap, all that kind of stuff.
So
will be on there.
what happens can you go over or just explain what happens in the cut and cap process for if for some reason a resident doesn't do it and they cut and cap, what does that resident, do they have to pay a fee to get a turn on back on? Like, what does that process look like?
I better stick to bringing you the entire process to
Okay.
see if that's part of what the expectation is, rather than say that. I don't want to, we do have cut and cap costs for our regular
Right.
process here in the city. I'm not sure of how they integrated that in their document.
Because I don't know that, does the state of, the state of Michigan, do they have the authority to turn somebody's water off?
Oh, they're working in conjunction with us, and yes, it all falls under the service line rules. Lead service line, galvanized, that's a state rule consistent with the EPA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know how many service lines were remaining when we turned the project back over to the state? Do you know what those numbers are?
No, I'd be guessing.
Okay. I was just wondering what the number was that the state actually completed from once they took the process over, if there was 1,000 left or whatever, and now there's 200, like what did they complete in the last, was it almost 2 years since they've had it, right?
I do know that when we were looking at the process and we were having discussions about the process, it was around 3,000. But then our staff, Paul Simpson, Amanda, they went through and they were able to locate information on a number of those, so that kept reducing the number down.
So we don't know actually how many the state has completed?
No, I can ask them to provide that documentation too.
Okay. If you could just get us a high level of how many they have completed or how many is remaining, I think that's the biggest question that a lot of us and the residents have is how many are remaining.
Yeah, they're putting all of that, they're memorializing all of that.
Okay.
The restorations and all the line replacement remaining, they're gonna have that exact number in the documentation that I'm gonna provide to you.
And are they putting a hard deadline on it at some point? Like, are they going to?
That's gonna be in the document too.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure,
Okay.
yes, they do have a hard deadline, and I believe that's gonna be in the documentation too.
Perfect. Thank you. I yield.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Any other discussion for this discussion item? Going once, going twice. We're going to close this discussion item.
Mr. Chair,
There's a motion to adjourn, and I heard a second motion by the councilman in the 8th Ward, seconded by the councilwoman in the 4th Ward. Roll call, Madam Secretary.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat? Yes. Mr. Pfeiffer?
Yes.
Mr. Jared?
Yes.
Mr. Alamin? Dr. Lewis is not in. Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
The vote is 8 yes, 0 no.
8 yes, 0 no. Motion to adjourn has passed. We are adjourned at 6:51.
Thank you. Any member of the audience who has not had an opportunity to fill out a speaker slip for council, you do have 5 minutes to do so.
I like the dress. Just a little two-piece. JCPenney got these sweaters on sale for $7. Oh, for real? Oh, let me see. I'm a professional shopper. Why you pick me up?
Ours are working.
I think they do have a
Point.
You're
good.
Wait, let me cut this down.
You didn't fix somebody, you gave them all the time they needed. You didn't know them wrong, did you? The video called, so you, she called.
Madam Secretaries. It should be two of them, though. Jasmine is right there. Or otherwise, Leon is talking to an imaginary friend. The time is now 6:56 p.m. on Monday, March 9th. I hereby call the City Council meeting to order. We don't have a city attorney. We can still do a roll call. She's in the building. I mean, she's in the room. Roll call, Madam Secretary.
Mr. El Alamin. Oh my gosh. Dr. Lewis is not in. Ms. Johnson. Ms. Priestley.
Present.
Ms. Winfrey Carter.
Present.
Ms. Burns is not in. Ms. Machette. Mr. Pfeiffer. Mr. Jarrett.
Present.
You have 7 members present.
We have 7 members present, and we'll give our attorney an opportunity to join us. I know, but I still need somebody to pray. Gotta line it up. All right, it is now time for the Pledge of Allegiance. Councilwoman LaShawn Johnson, 3rd Ward Councilwoman, will lead us in the pledge. Thank you. Before we get to the prayer blessing, is there anyone who would like to honor or remember or ask for a special prayer for a grieving family?
Madam Chair,
Councilman in the 9th Ward.
asking prayer continually for the Jefferson family, the Lathan Jefferson family, on his untimely passing.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to ask for a prayer or remembrance for a family? All right, I ask that we would continue to uplift Karma Lewis and her family at this time as well. Councilman Alameen, will you please lead us in prayer?
Dear Lord, as we gather in this space, let us take a moment to reflect on the richness of our community, filled with diverse backgrounds, beliefs, and experience. We give thanks for the peace and opportunity that this gathering brings. May we recognize the unique contributions of each individual and honor the traditions that shape our lives. Let us strive for understanding and compassion, embracing our differences and strengths that enrich our shared journey. In the spirit of unity, we move forward with hope and purpose. Amen.
It's now time for the reading of the Disorderly Persons City Code subsection. Any person that persists in disrupting this meeting will be in violation of Flint City Code Section 31-10, disorderly conduct, assault, and battery, and disorderly persons, and will be subject to arrest for a misdemeanor. Any person who prevents the peaceful and orderly conduct of any meeting will be given one warning. If they persist in disrupting the meeting, that individual will be subject to arrest. Violators will be removed from the meeting. Are there any requests for agenda changes and/or additions?
Madam Chair,
Councilman Alameen.
I would like to make a request for reconsider the resolution for the $1 million to invest into the water fund.
Oh,
To
so
stabilize.
I hear you. And give me a second because I don't know if I think you can, but I don't know if it has to be on here. So give me a second. Alrighty, you can add a reconsideration. And we will put it, we'll just, I guess, call it reconsideration 1. And who, I got it, I understand, I don't have a paper and anybody can do it.
No, I understand that, but we have to vote on agenda changes.
Right, but I'm good, can I tell you where I want to put it first?
Okay, just tell me, yeah.
Thank you. And it will go before licenses, excuse me. Is there support for the reconsideration?
Support.
Moved by the councilman in the first ward, supported by councilwoman in the second ward. What we're doing right now is voting to add it. I don't even know why I did that. Are there any more requests for changes and/or additions? Seeing as how there are no more requests for changes and/or additions, I will go ahead and add it without objection. I'm waiting for the objection. Go ahead.
You can't add it, and only in committee can you do it without objection.
Either way, you're going to object. So just come on. There we go. All right, there's an objection, so we have to do a roll call vote. Roll call to add the reconsideration for the $1 million in in contingency funds for the water fund.
Mr.
Roll
El
call.
Alamin? Dr. Lewis is not in. Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
No.
Ms. Burns?
Because you got your nails on.
No.
Ms. Machette?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
No.
Mr. Jarrett?
No.
You have 4 yes and 4 no.
The vote is 4 yes, 4 no. That reconsideration failed to make its way to our agenda. Are there any more requests for, or that was it. We don't have any more requests for agenda changes or additions. It is now time for public comment. Members of the public who wish to address the city council or its committees must register before the meeting begins. A box will be placed at the entrance to the council chambers for collection of registrations. No additional speakers or slips will be accepted after the meeting begins. Members of the public shall have no more than 3 minutes per speaker during public comment, with only 1 speaking opportunity per speaker. First public speaker, Madam Secretary.
Michael Clack?
I believe he left.
Melissa Zambrowski?
I believe she left.
R.L. Mitchell?
I believe he's here.
My name is R.L. Mitchell. For the record, about this Popo situation in Flint, talking about these are 69 of them, or 59 of them. They get underpaid, but they mention Grand Blanc policemen. They getting less pay than Grand Blanc. But them hostile police in talking about they don't get murders out there in Grand Blanc. And they be working harder than any Popo in America. But Grand Blanc is worse than Flint, doing that sneaky stuff. Like, for the record, I remember when I was out there, when my pastor lived right out there, I went over his house unexpectedly just to see, and I got, just some little pocket change and talk. But he went home, his wife gave me all the bottles in the garage and told her son, which is my pastor right now, to take our rail to the grocery store and let him cash the bottles and drop him back off at the bus stop. And they did that, but it's a little white woman out there came and said, "Sir, can I help you?" I said, "Yeah, give me a glass of water." And she went in the house, she took too long. I walked down a couple of blocks, about 8 cops, all of them was white. They asked me for my identification. All of them pulled guns out when I reached for my wallet. And I gave them my identification. They said, "I advise you, don't come out here no more." And they got to be dealt with just because you see how they treat us peoples in Flint, our own police spraying somebody with pepper spray and all that junk and barbecue stuff, and the 5th ward has said best. It's racial, but nobody gonna call the racial shot. But she already done called it now. But they still got to be dealt with. That been over 25 years ago. But now I remember why that cop pulled me over in front of the Hamilton Brothers on Hamilton Street. He probably one of them Burton and Grand Blanc, the same thing. Talking about getting in the car with a gun. I walked away. And all that junk. That still got to be addressed. Woodson said it best. Y'all lease them motherfuckers out here on the street to you. You ain't out there. Look at it. That old second ward, she started that junk with that Mexican popo. She fired him and then he got so mad. He talked to all them buddies out there and knocking and wrestling in gangs and stuff because Big Moose, like that's the only I can think of, started that junk and all that junk and now in First Ward over, and y'all talking about drop the top. And look, hey look, stay tuned, America. We gonna get to the bottom of this. But they gonna, in the mayor talking about calling his own popo arsonist and all. You see what he be dealing with? Little penguin downstairs. Mayor Neely. Good evening. I'll real Mr.
Next public speaker, Madam Secretary.
Next speaker is Arthur Woodson.
All right, since we addressed lead and homes, let's address that $1 million. Here's the issue. The race doesn't go into place until July the 1st. What's the big rush for the $1 million? Y'all just heard it yourself. It's in the general fund, so you don't have to worry about a deadline and spending it by the end of this year. Because it's in the general fund, it's already spent. So what's the rush for getting the $1 million right now? Then on top of that, you heard Mr. Moore say, hey, y'all got $2 million. Mr. Pfeiffer asked how much was spent out of the $2 million. He said $700,000 to $800,000. It was allocated for substantiability, water. So if you only spent $700,000 to $800,000, that means you got $1.2 million left in money that was allotted for rate increase. So why not use that $1 million that's sitting there right now where it's supposed to be sitting? Ms. Gurley, I don't know you personally, and this is nothing against you personally, but in this arena here, I do not trust you. You all can vote to get your own attorney to look at that Gleewood contract. We don't need anybody that will act like Attorney General Pam Bondi with the Jeff Epstein file because their loyalty is misplaced. It's not placed with the people, and I know you didn't understand. I know you don't like that, Ms. Councilwoman Candace, but at the same time, you have people who are loyal to their bosses instead of people who are loyal to the people. It's nothing personally against them. It's just facts and understanding that this does happen. Because I can say something right now that I know for a fact. I know that Phil Phelps did some forgery with Michigan Tribunal, taxes, and Ms. Gurley investigated it. And not one time was it brought up here in front of y'all. So I know that for a fact. So information that should be transparent and brought up here in front of y'all should be here. My issue, I don't like Gleewood. My issue is if they supposed to came here in front of us and told us about the data and how they come up with the rates, and then it's a 4% cap, why not take our time to look at that? And if they breach the contract, maybe we can renegotiate and open up the contract. Let's check our options first before we start throwing money at something that might not even help us down the road. But if we look at that contract and they breach that contract, we are in a better position to negotiate. And that's all I have to say about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next public speaker, Madam Secretary.
Next speaker is Darrell Brown.
All right, great job. That's the type of stuff that we need, you know, like let's be honest, transparency, you know, man, that's all we ask for, transparency. Everybody to do their job and do it effectively. You do that, we will never have no problem. But we see problems, that's the reason why we have people like us that's going to be running. That's why we are running. because we believe that we will bring those things to the council. I've told y'all over and over again, love and respect. Even if I was not to agree with you, I would definitely respect you enough to hear what you got to say and then figure out what we can do for the people. We don't have that. We usually have something that's divided. Honestly, it's surprising for me to hear these votes, you know, what you guys are all together in this. Because usually there's like bickering and fussing and fighting at some way, form, or fashion. And one thing that I've noticed though too, and I'm gonna speak on this, is loyalty. It is who you're loyal to. So me, I'm no parties or no games, just the people, flat out. If it's not about the people, you know, we have an issue. And I can tell the way that certain people vote that they have specific interest or specific people that they rock with. You know, we see what people are doing. Y'all know y'all on video, we can watch everything. And again, I'm not calling you out, but the people do see. And we don't forget. So that's what's happening right now. And there is going to be a big shift and change in the council. It is going to happen. I know some of you guys are not running for a specific reason, and I understand that. But the ones that want to retain their seats, people are coming for those seats because you're not to be trusted by a lot of the folks out here. They don't trust you. They don't trust how you vote and what you do. And they're running for those seats. And we're going to have change because there's a new season. This is election season, right? Things are going to change because it has to change. It's as simple as that. We look back at footage and it's out there for us to see what you've done, what you did and what you didn't do. And Candace, you never look at me when I speak to you, but this is not out of disrespect. I went out in the ward and I asked all throughout the ward, what have you done for us? And I've absolutely heard nothing at all. But I would like to talk to you one-on-one if you're willing to, so you can enlighten me, what have you done? I've tried calling you as a resident before I even decided to run, and I've never got a call back. I have not got a call back, but if I had money, I believe that you would, though. If I had the money, I believe that we'd be talking. Prove me wrong then if that's not the case. That's why I'm running for the seat, because of things like this. You should be easily accessible, because I am, and they're talking to me as if I'm already in that seat. Why is that? Why are people calling me instead of you? Why is that? Let's talk. Out of no disrespect, let's talk.
Thank you. Next public speaker, Madam Secretary.
Next speaker is Sarah Houston.
I believe she left.
Deborah Coleman.
How y'all doing? Deborah Coleman again from the First Ward. I'm a piggyback off of, well, not the rail, but the lead program that y'all was talking about. And this is for the people. I entered into the City of Flint lead program. How I ended up getting in it, I was with Habitat. I had a bad roof. So Habitat came in to fix my roof, but when they came in, I had lead in my windows and like a lot of places in my house and my garage. So I had to go through the City of Flint lead for them to come and get all the lead out of my house before I could get my roof fixed. And what I want to say to the people, if you ever have to deal with the city of lead, you better document everything, you better write stuff down, you better take pictures, you better do everything, because they put my windows in messed up. I came down here several times, talked to the big people down there. Nobody in the office even came to my house to see how they put my windows in wrong. I got a new floor in my back room, it's buckling all back up. They broke my garage door. They dropped my garage door while I was there. So it's just basically, with them bringing that up, I just want the people to know, if y'all deal with them, y'all better be aware, y'all better pay attention. And I honestly think that program is like a family thing, because the people that end up doing my house, it was some guys from Detroit. I can't even remember the name of the company. But when they came to my house, it was several contractors came to my house. And they ended up getting it. It was rough. I'm telling you, you better, like I said, I'm just doing this for the people. I came back up here. Pay attention. Document, take pictures, everything. Know what you're doing, know what they're doing. and get all the correct information. And you guys still didn't answer. I asked you guys a question. I wanted to know why the water main breaks were coming. I know y'all just said because the ground is unthawing. That can't be true because the ground been unthawing all my life, and I ain't never seen no many water main breaks since I've been here. And then also, like, what about the streets? You know, then nobody answered to tell me who's over the street, who's going back checking these sinkholes that they filling up that they're not doing properly. Like, something needs to be done. I had my old car, I tore up the whole underside on, what is that, Stewart and Clio? And I've never heard anything from nobody down there. I came down here, I can't call nobody, can't talk to nobody. I didn't get a letter to say, hey, we're not gonna give you nothing, we ain't paying for nothing or nothing. Things gotta change. Thank you.
Thank you. Next public speaker, Madam Secretary.
Next speaker is Claire McClinton.
Yes, I just want to underscore the urgency of this water rate hike. We've already set a bad precedent with the $8.9 or $8.5 million in 2022 that was given for water credits. At that time, you could have used some of that money for water affordability. If you listen to the hearing last week or week before concerning the rate hikes, and one of the attendees spoke about the Lifeline program in Detroit, where they charge water based on your income, not your usage. Did y'all hear that? Your income, not your usage. And one of the speakers mentioned how they were on that program and they were regularly paying their bills, but when the funds dried up for that program, they couldn't keep up with the payments. Now, some things is just make sense, you know, but unfortunately, some people's wishes and plans and desires is honored by this council, and we, the residents, are not. And here we go again. You got on the thing tonight, Baker Street for the Mark and them, they want Baker Street, and you know, somebody else want another street, and they always get special treatment. They get what they want. They come up here and ask for it, bam, it's a done deal. We go out there and picket, get petition signatures and all kind of stuff, and we still ignore it, which is even worse. At least tell us why you're not gonna put money into home rehab and rehabilitation, why you're not gonna even look into a water affordability. Philadelphia has had one for years. Other cities haven't. It works. It did not bankrupt the city. All that scare tactics they used to try to keep from implementing it. So do some digging. Whatever you thought you've done on this council, it's not enough. You're not even close to what we're living through in this society. People being disappeared off the street, kidnapped, killed in broad daylight by our own government. A city poisoned, Flint, by our own government. We are in some serious times, and we need some serious advocacy and fighting. Flint is a fighting city. Let's get in the fight.
Next public speaker, Madam Secretary.
Next speaker is Beverly Biggs Levy. Audrey Muhammad.
Audrey Muhammad, 2nd Ward, candidate for 2nd Ward. I just want to put everybody up here on an early notice. April the 25th, 2014 was when the water switch happened. Every year since then has not been a celebration, but it has been a commemoration to make sure that the people of Flint, surrounding areas across the country and across the world, on April the 25th has always been informed, and it has been a formal forum that has happened every year, thanks to Ms. Claire McClendon and the crew from Democracy Defense. Every year, there has been something that we have done. She has been definitely a spearheader there, making sure it has been parades, there have been marches, there have been a lot of information. So just put it on your calendar. This year, April the 25th, it's a Saturday. Details are coming. We're working on it. There will be another commemoration to remind people of the poisoning that happened to the citizens of Flint, resources where you can go to get assistance and help. If you all got any information that you would like to give, please get with Mrs. Claire McClendon. She is definitely collecting the item. We will be having probably a movie, a video or something that we'll be viewing, but it will definitely be open for the public. I'm sure one will be there live streaming, but every year on April the 25th, no matter what day of the week it comes on, there is always something that we do that makes sure that the citizens of Flint are definitely taken care of. So put that on your calendar. Thank you.
Thank you. Next public speaker, Madam Secretary.
Next speaker is Monica Galloway.
She left.
Mary Ann Jamerson.
I think she left.
Lottie DeRed.
I don't have much to say besides y'all remember this election season. Just because somebody give you a couple extra dollars, well, I ain't gonna say a couple extra because everything counts in this economy. So I'm hoping that just because the mayor decide to push a little money towards these officer ways, that they don't get, because just because, I'm gonna say this, just because somebody give you something don't mean they bought your vote. Let them know you're not playing with him, because he part of the reason why the residents and the police got an issue now. Because he sicked y'all on us like rabid dogs. So remind him that y'all stand on your own, and then next time you'll get more than what you want for the next administration that come in. Be your own people first and foremost. And y'all remember this also, my people. Talk to your elders, because people get comfortable with voting for what's already there. They don't know. They don't do media and Facebook and YouTube. So it's our duty to talk to our grandparents, aunties, uncles, the elders, and let them know it's time for a change. Because sometimes they vote in comfortability. And they don't understand what's going on, because they always been taught to pay their bills and they don't ask questions. They come from a different time. So we have to step up. Remember the judges that let stuff slide. Remember the prosecutors that let stuff slide. Remember the lawyers that was involved when stuff got to slide. Y'all votes count. These people's gonna want to be general district attorneys and you know the attorney general, and they want to be governors, and they just want to hit the big time. So y'all remember this while they at the bottom, because if they dirty at the bottom, they show enough dirty at the top, baby. And you don't want them to run nothing. So it gotta start here. We already got to start here. Remember the all these 501c3s, communicate, block clubs. How many of them have planted grass in front yards? How many of them have painted a house? How many have helped somebody get a roof? Because see, all that's neighborhood stabilization. How many got together and say, hey, we'll pay this old lady's water bill because she can't afford it? I'm telling y'all, get y'all affairs in order with the city. So when we come down here and we go against them, we standing good on our own ground. If y'all feel like them lawyers didn't do y'all right for the water, y'all get together, do a class action lawsuit for insufficient counsel on them lawyers. Don't go after the city, go after the lawyers. They the ones did you bold. Take what they got. They got $40 million. Get some of it. Don't let them ride. Don't let them ride. Y'all remember who you are. It's power in numbers. Get your people together and come down here, even if they don't say nothing. Just show up. You understand?
Thank you. Next public speaker.
Next speaker is Rich Jones.
How y'all doing today? I just got one request for y'all, and that is to be creative with the pen. Y'all, time is running out. Some of y'all ain't running again. Some of y'all running again. Be creative with the pen. And what I mean by that is, don't write, you gotta have this paid, you gotta have your taxes. Write something that says you are a citizen of Flint, we're gonna do this for you. That's all. Please listen to what Ms. Claire said. And something else that needs to happen. Y'all need to have a back and forth with us. Because sometimes we say stuff like what Ms. Claire said. That's a discussion. That should be a discussion. That shouldn't be something that y'all give 30 seconds, if that. Because most of the time that she come up here, y'all don't even address her. Y'all don't even address her. Let's talk about our police force. It is a must that we get more investigators. It is a must that we have more police officers out on our streets. And it is a must that we be very competitive. I can see the same thing happening again. I don't see our heavy turnover being solved. I don't see that being solved. I see this being a Band-Aid, but a Band-Aid is better than just letting it bleed. And I want to thank all of y'all that stood up with us for the Gleeville. I want to thank y'all. And also, I want to talk about the North Flint Food Park market. I ain't 100% in on all what's going on, but I am for it because it's ours. It's ours. Think about how many people y'all done gave, and not y'all in general, just the city council for years. How many tax breaks y'all done gave to people when it was time for them to pay taxes, they were no longer in business? This is us. That's us. If we fall on our face, let us fall on our face. You allow many of people that don't even live in Flint to come in here and become millionaires. Why can't you give us a chance? That's all I'm asking, give us a chance. And if I was on council, I would love to hear people saying, he voted to give the North Flint Food Market some money. He must be getting some out of it. I'd rather answer that question than have these people say, why y'all won't vote for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next public speaker, Madam Secretary.
Next speaker is Jaquindre Brown.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Good evening to Council. My name is Jaquindre Brown, and I'm a resident of 7th Ward. I am here to discuss the safety of our communities in regards to ICE and the DHS. I realize many on this council believe that the city is helpless and are not able to do anything in regards to protecting our residents by following the law if our federal government breaks it first. So for the past month, I began to do research. I wanted to see what other governments have been doing in Michigan and the measures that the city of Flint are able to follow. To do this, I have in my hand a resolution made by the Board of Commissioners in Washtenaw County, which I gave copies to the Madam Secretary to give to Council, that introduces 7 different statements and measures that I believe our local government could put forward as well. 1, I know last time I talked, there were questions about affordability or just jurisdiction when it comes to hiring lawyers directly. What this resolution does is that the local government would seek counsel with external immigrant rights legal organizations to help develop policy that allows for our communities to be safe. 2, it prohibits ICE officers from entering or conducting civil immigration enforcement with local government-owned, leased, or operated building facilities, unless it's pursuant to a judicial warrant, not an administrative warrant. 3, local government employees, contractors, or agents will not be allowed to voluntarily assist, facilitate, or cooperate with ICE unless required by law. 4, while less enforceable, it also formally opposed the use of masks and face coverings within the boundaries of local government. Number 5 and 6, which are interlinked, It states that the local government reaffirms their commitment to being a welcoming and inclusive community, to pursue continuing and advocates for our agencies to pursue continual community engagement. Lastly, number 8, it encourages other localities within the areas to adopt similar policies. With these measures affirmations, I believe that we are able to make sure that we can make a positive difference in the city of Flint. While I slightly understand the hesitation by council, we are living in unprecedented times, with there always being a non-zero chance of retaliation by the federal government. Looking at what was passed in Washtenaw, it made the lives of the residents more safe, not less. And we also cannot rely on just the fact of pretending that inaction will somehow hide our community from these unjust actions. Just recently, Nail Shama, a Burton resident, was only just released from the detention center after being held there illegally for 7 months. This is not a far-off problem that we can hide away from. It is already here. I close with this. At the beginning of this meeting, we started off with a prayer to God. So I ask you this: what would God say if...
Thank you. Next public speaker, Madam Secretary.
Next speaker is Kwana Mack.
I'm back. I had to come down here and see was the 5 crooks still crooking. Yes, they are. Crooks. See if they still crooking. And LaShawn, she knew she crooking. She just talk nice and pass out candy. But I want to tell the people of Flint, look around. You see all these gas stations, Amoco's, Marathons, buildings, liquor stores spruced up, old Rite Aids going to the Chinese. This is who they want to be doing business with. And what the mayor and this administration, the crooks that got the mayor, you know, they've been here for a while, they couldn't help it. They're gonna violate you with violations and out-tax you out of your houses. Why didn't the mayor talk to them about raising this water? Why didn't they even go over there and talk to consumers about shutting down their drive-thrus, closing at 1 to 1:30 for lunch, no public restroom, you can't use a credit card on the inside? This is what they doing. They sitting back. They shutting everything down. Flint has been sold. And the crooks that's on this administration, including the council, just stealing like it ain't no tomorrow. And I'm looking at the 5 crooks. Liddell, she left, but I'ma still talk about her. She talked, I guess we getting the doctor. Oh, nice and sing-songy. Nah, roll back the footage. Sicking the cops on us, having us arrested, handcuffed, talking to us all crazy. And Candace, yeah, you in my ward. Ooh-wee, somebody else told me they was running. But you know what? Somebody told me they was running for mayor. Ooh-wee, I can't wait. I'm gonna be there, and I'm gonna be doing early voting. I don't trust y'all doing them absentee ballots. Davina, you're going down with them. You know, some people are made of plastic. Some people are made of wood. And some people are up to no good. Hey, what I see is 5 crooks, 5 crooks. But you know what? I'm gonna tell you something else. Y'all not getting away. You gotta see the maker, and y'all gonna feel the fire licking at your heels. Bye.
Thank you. Next public speaker, Madam Secretary.
Next speaker is Brian Boston Jr.
So I'm Brian Boston Jr. I'm gonna make this like kind of quick. It ain't too much I gotta say, but you can kind of honestly see what's going on. I mean, it's election season. You can see deals being made. You can see who's with who. I just feel like at the end of the day, like I'm gonna say, being I guess of the youth in that age gap, understanding what I'm seeing, like this is insane. Like what we gotta live in. I'm raising 2 children in this, and I just feel like, yeah. Look, that's what I'm saying. Like the inactiveness that is here. Like in Judy, you be behind Neely, just standing there smiling. So I try not to say anything, like, you know, and just keep my mouth shut. But just being transparent, you can see the inactiveness. There's no love in this. This is just, all right, what's gonna be the best deal for our pockets? Like, and this ain't it. Like, this ain't it. This is crazy. And everybody got an opinion up here, everybody against each other, and it's just like, where's the togetherness? I mean, growing up, I used to see all of our neighbors waking up in the morning talking to each other. No more. We talking about a divide that Neely created during his time in the office. You can see that all day, every day. It's evident. There's no togetherness, but it starts with the person that has to be the example of the togetherness. And there's no example there. So when it comes to the council, of course y'all gonna be going back and forth with Neely. That's gonna be all day. But it's like, who's gonna step up and be the example and take initiative to bring togetherness back? Because with black men, we need that. I mean, leadership, it starts with us a lot. We have an image on us all day, an image that's on our back when we walk outside, especially as black men. So it's just like at this time, like, you know, it don't matter who's leader or anything, but it just matters about who's gonna take accountability and understand how we can make that change. So I'm just looking for that, and I'm just like, you know, my age group, they don't want shit to do with this. And I'm sorry for cussing, but they don't want nothing to do with this. It just sounds like y'all bickering back and forth. It's just like a talk TV show. So it's just like, yeah, that's about it. But just please bring together.
Next public speaker, Madam Secretary.
Final speaker is Dion Freeman.
Good evening, City Council. I'm Dion Freeman. I live in the First Ward. First of all, I would just like to say I appreciate you all and acknowledge you all standing for something instead of falling for anything when it came to that $1 million. We already had $2 million put in, and it's already been revealed that all that hasn't been spent, so we're gonna put another $1 million in on something and try to Band-Aid a problem that's going to exist for the rest of this 30-year contract, and we have 20-some more years left. So each year, they're gonna come back and come back and come back and come back and ask for an increase. My bet is to say yes. So we can't find a resolution or some viable option to stop what's going on inside that contract. Now we're just gonna continue to suffer for the rest of these years. So I want to say to you all, I know you took some flack and some heat for it, but you're standing for something and not falling for anything. I wanted to ask on the rate increase, because I'm not sure, I saw that we are paying $6.19 per unit, and that's 748 gallons equals 1 unit. I want to know if that number is accurate, because I just Googled it and found it. And what is that increase going to go up to, the dollar amount? And when does it actually take place? So that'll let us know how much time you all have to find some type of better resolution for what's going on right now. On the community block development grant, we had talked about it as resolution 260073. We still, or I haven't heard who actually sits on this board, because we were questioning when did the board meet. I would like to know, I think some of the other council members also wanted to know who is actually serving on this board, who, and when these meetings are taking place according to the Open Meetings Act. My last question is with service lines. The north side of Flint, especially in the First Ward, has a lot of vacant property. So where in the process were vacant properties included? What happens to a vacant property? How do they get permission to go in and change the lines or filter out the system? So That's all I wanted to know. What is happening with the vacant homes, and where were they included in the plan for service lines? Thank you.
Thank you. You said that was the last public speaker, correct, Madam Secretary? Now it is time for council response. Council members may respond once to all public speakers, only after all public speakers have spoken. An individual council member's response shall be limited to 2 minutes. Is there anyone who would like to speak during council response? Councilwoman Burns, you have the floor.
I do want to say this because the big thing is everyone is invited to come down for the water, the $1 million. If we had $40 million that was absorbed into the general fund, and now we know it's still questionable whether it's general funds, whether it's ARPA, if it can be approved, then if we're going to do something, there's 20 years left on that contract. 20 years, that's a long time. And so if we can take this, why not see what we can do for the balance of the 20? And in the meantime, $1 million is going to kick it down for a year. That's just not enough. And I know Mr. Woodson came up here and spoke, and many other ones, where we are, I did ask Attorney Gurley, but I did also ask another attorney firm that is also looking into it to see is it feasible, can we get out of that contract? It is really like Flint was under duress to save money when they switched to the Flint River, that just doesn't make sense, but that's emergency management. So that is a big issue. And this community is divided. It has been divided, and in every press conference is more division, and it's unfair. When we talk about another way to save, we're losing about 3 million gallons, I believe, per day in unmetered water, whether it's water theft, whether it's leaks, water main breaks, we don't know. And so I know a couple years ago it was estimated that about 50% of our water is what we lose that we pay for. That's a lot. That would decrease our water bills. So there are some things that really need to be looked at, and we need to have some conversations with this council and public.
Thank you. Anyone else who wishes to speak during council response?
Madam Chair.
Councilman in the 9th Ward, you have the floor.
Thank you. As it relates to the water resolution, the $1 million, I was almost gonna vote for the reconsideration just to have conversation, but I realized that wouldn't really be fair to you all in the interest of time, because at this point, that resolution as it sat or as it was written, I just can't support. But what I am very interested in having brought before us is some type of resolution that provides solution to the contract, and where I'm in conflict or flux as it relates to even finding a solution. I don't know if it's more of a legal matter because it's contractual, or if there's just something really that as a citizenry we can come up with the solution. I'm conflicted. I don't know exactly where the answer lies. But I am very interested to explore what can be explored now versus waiting anytime beyond July. I'm very interested in working and supporting resolution, or let me not use that word, solution to this matter. Very interested in solution. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak during council response? Councilwoman
Madam
Winfrey
Chair.
Carter.
Thank you. First, I would like to thank all of the residents that came out this evening. Thank you for being engaged in the process here. Thank you for coming to the podium, bringing forth your issues and your concerns. I do want to touch on something Ms. Claire McClendon said. And I want to say to you, Ms. McClendon, thank you for what you said, because I'm going to piggyback off of it. The $300 water credit that added up to maybe $8.6 million, you are absolutely correct. It should have been used to stabilize our water fund, for the water stabilization fund. But you know what? Instead, it was used as a political ploy. It was used as a political ploy. So these are the things that we're talking about when we say to the residents, don't believe the hype. When our mayor stands there at these press conferences that he so often have and throw council members under the bus, so he think he's throwing us under the bus. You know, you better listen. You better start reading between the lines, okay? And another thing, like the late Councilman Mays used to say to me, he said this to me when I first got elected. He said, Winfrey, you better watch everything that's moving, and you better watch everything that's not. You better watch.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak during council response?
Madam Chair.
Councilman in the 8th Ward.
So I'm going to disagree with my colleague, and I'm going to stand up for the $300. And the reason I'm going to, and I voted for it, and the reason I voted for it still stands today. And the reason I voted for it is because that is basically the only ARPA dollars that the community's seen. So that is, if you look at all the ARPA dollars that we've spent and all the 501c3s that we've spent money on, that $300 and a few other infrastructure projects is the only benefit that's come to the city of Flint out of that $94 million. That is the only money that the residents really have seen out of that $94 million. So I'll sit here all day and support that money that we spent, because you can't really pinpoint on where else that $94 million went. So I'll be the bad guy, and I'll put my vote on that, because the rest of the money just came in one door and out the other. So I think I said it then, and I'll say it again. Like, that's the only ARPA money that really the residents seen. So I'll stand by that. The other thing is, if a rate increase was to happen, it would, my back of the napkin math, because I'm wicked smart, is going to be about $2.50 a month, $2.50 a month per resident. That would be the rate increase to subsidize this $1 million. I know the guys back there are scrambling, trying to fact check me, but it's about $2.50 a month that each resident would have to pay to subsidize that $1 million. Thank you. I yield.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak during council response? Seeing as how there's no one else who wishes to speak during council response, I do want to remind everyone of the homeowner property exemption program. If you are a Genesee County homeowner and struggling to pay property taxes, there is HOPE, which is the homeowner property exemption program. Applications are available everywhere. It's actually the program that I came up with when I was not able to freeze property taxes for seniors. And so this program works as a way for all residents, if you qualify, to get 50% off of your property taxes. It picked up so much speed and momentum that once again Flint was ahead of other areas, and the county now has their own program, and then there are a couple of other municipalities who are standing in line with Flint to also offer their residents 50% off of their property taxes. Moreover, on Friday, March 13th, there will be a property tax foreclosure clinic, and that will be held at the Genesee County Administration Building. They have their new location, which is the 324 South Saginaw Street, room 111. Again, that is the property tax foreclosure clinic that goes in line with the homeowner's property exemption program. There's opportunity for legal advice and HOPE application support as well. You can give them a call for more information. And once again, that's going to be 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Friday, March 13th. I was the final speaker, so I will go ahead and yield the rest of my time. I will also take a motion for the consent agenda. It's been moved by the councilman in the 8th Ward, supported by the councilwoman in the 4th Ward. Are there any separations? Councilwoman in the 6th Ward.
260073 and 260074.
All right, any more separations?
That'll be it for me.
Seeing as how there are no more separations, I need to go ahead and separate the license, which is 260067. And that will be all. The consent agenda will consist of the following items: appointment 260079, resolution 26004.2. I'm sorry, 260079, which is the appointment to the Human Relations Commission, Mr. Roy Field Sr. 26004.2, which is the amended resolution vacation of Baker Street between North and Industrial Streets. Resolutions, that was separated. Resolution 260075, which is the change order number 1, Pullman SST, Cedar Street Reservoir Rehabilitation. Resolution 260076, LaFontaine Ford 8 GMC trucks. 260077.2, amended resolution, Sorensen Gross Company Rehabilitation Water Pollution Control Lift Station number 5. Resolution 260078, the setting of a public hearing for alley vacation between Leith and McClellan Street. Resolution 260084, which is the contract amendment for road professional services for the St. John Street Memorial Park project. And finally, resolution 260082, which is the collective bargaining agreement, City of Flint, Flint Police Officers Association, Flint Police Officers Association. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Dr. Lewis is not in. Ms. Johnson?
She's not in.
Is not in. Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Machette?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Al-Alamin? That is 7 yes, 0 no.
7 yes, 0 no. Congratulations to our officers. Right, we can clap for that. I think we all wanted that to happen for them, so congratulations. We're moving on to our first separation, 260073, which is the Budget Amendment 2025-26 Annual Action Plan, U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, Community Development Block Grant. What is the pleasure of the body?
Madam Chair,
Councilwoman Priestley.
make a motion to approve.
There is a motion to approve. Is there support? Supported by the councilman in the 1st Ward. Is there discussion?
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman Burns, you have the floor.
Who's over this?
If there is someone who is here available to speak to this, I believe Mr. Rod Slaughter is going to join us.
Good evening, Mr. Slaughter. I'm going to start while you're on your way down. How are you this evening? Good. Quick question, because some of these companies are not in good standing. Are these vetted?
Yes, yeah.
Well, if there is one that is not in good standing, and I haven't had time to go through the list, so the one that is not, oh gosh, let me see if it is Best Practices Consulting, they are not in good standing.
Good standing with the city?
It's on the State of Michigan website. And so I cannot support this at this time. Someone needs to go through this list to make sure if we're given funds that every organization is in good standing.
We checked that prior to, now, this was approved back in September, so.
Well, not my fault it rolled back around.
Correct.
So
correct.
we need to check and see that list. How many are in this? On this to be approved?
You said how many companies?
How many, yeah.
I don't know the actual
I have to-
number, but let me see if I count here.
So if someone, well, it's quite a few. I'm looking at the spreadsheet. So these need to be vetted to make sure that we do have, that they are in good standing. Are you properly staffed, or would this be something you would have to do?
No, I'm properly staffed.
You're properly
Each
staffed?
program manager would do the home. We have a program manager for each grant.
Okay, so someone needs to go through these. I mean, tonight, as it sits, I cannot support this because I will not support a company giving funds to that's not even in good standing. I won't do that. That would be recklessly irresponsible. So I don't know how long it would take. You know, maybe I'm gonna let my colleagues speak to it, but this one is not.
We can have that done first thing in the
Okay.
morning.
Well, I don't know if anyone else wants to speak, but
Okay.
I'm going to yield the floor.
Madam Chair. Okay.
Councilman Pfeiffer, you have the floor.
Mr. Slaughter, I was just wondering, did you find out who TBD was?
Yes, for Emergency Solutions Grant, those funds, for the most part, go to shelters in the city of Flint. So they didn't use the entire funding amount that we have, so we kept $34,000 for TBD money that can be used for expenses later. If, like, say, for instance, if one of the shelters or the YWCA comes short of program funding, that $30,000 can be used to assist. We'd rather put it into that TBD pile rather than turn it in. Now, at the end of the grant period, if it doesn't have to be used, we would return those funds or reprogram them for the following year.
Okay, how are we running the credits, because we're demanding money back from some of these folks? How are you, if they've already spent that money, or they haven't?
No, they haven't got the money yet, no.
They haven't got any of this money?
No, that's why we're waiting for your approval, so that they can.
No, but this is just the extra money, right?
No.
They haven't received any of the original contract either?
Correct.
So why did this come before us in September, and they still don't have the? So I'm so confused here. So why is it six?
They're waiting for the amendment so that we can start issuing contracts to be approved.
So I'm at a loss for words here. What does it normally get amended every single year? So why don't we just wait for the amended amount before we even do the original?
No, with the government shutdown, that pushed us behind also, and there were some other HUD holdups. So all of these contracts have not been executed.
Okay. Which ones have been executed, do you know?
Right, not offhand, I don't. I can get that answer, like, again tomorrow.
Because I think the last council meeting, we asked for the proposals or what each one of these organizations plan to do with the money. I haven't seen anything. Do you still plan on providing that to council?
That wasn't one of the requests I received from Davina.
So I think we requested it last time, so you're telling us right now that you didn't hear us ask for that?
No, I responded to the email that I received.
Oh, so
from
you
her.
don't, okay, well then, why even come up to the podium, sir? If you're like, what do you mean?
That's not the request that you gave me. The request that you gave is what she sent to me, as well as my Keisha. Those were returned the very next day. And that was for the Citywide Advisory Committee. And then, well, we're not talking about Roy right now, but, and that I did respond and get back to her.
Okay, I yield, I'm done.
Is there anyone else who wishes to speak in the first round of discussion? Seeing as how there's no one else who wishes to speak in the first round of discussion, Mr. Slaughter, first of all, thank you for being here tonight. Greatly
Thank you.
appreciate it. I do understand you sent back the information that you were requested in email. I can understand how if it comes from the clerk and those were the questions that you were given, then those are the questions that you responded to because you assumed those were the questions that council wanted answered, so I do understand. As we can see tonight, there are a few more questions that my colleagues have, as well as a concern for someone possibly not being in good standing. So what I want to do to make sure that this can all be wrapped away in a nice, neat little package is I will go ahead and refer this back to Special Affairs so that we can get, whatever answer that they still need, as well as what my colleague in the 6th Ward pointed out is actually very important, so that we can make sure we get that taken care of, get some answers, or see what's happening with that. That's important for us to be able to pass something. So I will make a motion to refer this back to Special Affairs. Is there support? I don't even know. It was like 3 people. Okay, Councilwoman in the 4th Ward is supported by her. Roll call, Madam Secretary. Thank you, Mr. Slaughter.
I have a question, if I can.
Go ahead.
Are you asking me that, number one, that we need to provide everyone to show that they are,
So she only found one.
Okay.
And so if
But
you
I'll
comb through and
check
find
everybody.
another, then,
Okay,
it would
so-
be ideal for you to comb through and see.
so find that as well as contracts that have been signed?
Yeah, so just comb through and make sure they're all in good standing.
Okay.
And then what was the second question that you had?
Councilman Pfeiffer had asked, were any of these contracts in place and starting to be spent?
Is that your question? He's going to send it to the clerk.
Okay,
Thank you, Mr. Slaughter.
thank you.
Well, we look forward to you answering what the clerk sends you. Roll call, Madam Secretary.
Ms. Johnson is not in, oh, okay. Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Al-Amin is not in. Dr. Lewis is not in. That is 7 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 7 yes, 0 no. Resolution 260073, which is the budget amendment, the 25-26 annual action plan, U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development Community Development block grant, has been sent back to Special Affairs. Moving on to our final item of the, it's not. Moving on to Resolution 260074, which is the change order number 1 for Sorensen Gross Company, Cedar Street Pump Station Rehabilitation. What is the pleasure of the body?
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman in the 4th Ward.
Motion to approve.
There's a motion to approve by the Councilwoman in the 4th Ward. Is there a second?
Support.
Supported by the Councilwoman in the 3rd Ward. Is there discussion?
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman in the 6th Ward, you have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Dungy. I appreciate
Mr.
it.
Dungy,
Through
will you
to
please
Mr.
join us
Chair,
at
to
the
Mr.
lectern?
Dungy. Thank you. How are you this evening?
Good.
Okay, so with this one, this was the change order, and this is the one with the asbestos, correct?
Is this the pump station?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, and so this one should shore up everything, right?
Yes.
Okay, because I had another question too, because we had a sewage spill into the Flint River.
Ooh. I don't know nothing about
You
that.
know
You'd have
nothing
to
about
talk
that?
to
See, Miss
Jeanette
Jeanette Best is gone. Yeah, she's gone. And so I had a question about that, that sewage spill, because we did not get notification. And I was hoping, although for us, this is pretty good timing, compared to what we usually are. So that I want to make sure that this would make sure that this will wrap that up. But then I also got a concern, and I'm gonna go to you, to Mr. Edwards too, because Ms. Best, I know with some of these projects, and she just left. Literally, she kind of slipped. Yeah, it's not right. So, Mr. Edwards, can you speak to the sewage spill? Is there anything that the residents need to know about? Not to come in contact with the water, or?
That, you talking about the notification?
The notification.
To the river?
To the river. We had
Yeah,
sewage
that's a
spill.
standard, that's a standard right. That has nothing to do with anything that will cause a problem or affect the residents. When the retainage it becomes capacity because of rain, they subsequently will release partially treated. And that's a regulatory thing with EGLE. EGLE is immediately notified. They give the okay on that, and we release to the river. That's no risk to the residents.
So, quick question, and I know we have that nice notification system. Why don't we use that to notify residents if there's been a sewage spill? Because along my ward, we got the river, and I remember we had was it 2 years ago? It's like Flint smelled like manure, and it was just, maybe it was the hot weather, but it was a really bad smell for maybe 2 days, and it smelled like manure. And so, I mean, we did have a lot of rain that came down, but when we have these, it would be a good use of that system that we have, if we could use that system just to send it out, for residents, especially in my area, because it increases the number of calls, and I didn't know anything about it. The article didn't come out into MLive until late this afternoon, and the spill happened this weekend. So it's just being transparent and being good stewards of getting good information. And I know we can use the system because I got a call on my house phone from the system about an Easter egg hunt. So a sewer spill is much more important than an Easter egg hunt, to let residents know, because I could not respond because I did not know. We didn't receive it. There was nothing to council that let us know about it. So just asking for some transparency as we are in our rainy season now. So
I'm not sure of what you're speaking of when you talk about alert. Are you talking
okay,
about
so there's
the
a
code
system.
alert system?
Yeah, you can get a text. I've gotten the text messages or phone calls, and that system notifies you when something, is for an emergency. It's the red
I
dot
know the
system.
I know about that system.
Red alert, code red.
Yes.
Yeah. And so it lets us know it's supposed to, a good use would be boil water advisories, letting us know that something is happening, because we didn't get an email. What I got was calls that I had nothing, I didn't have a response, at that time. I didn't get anything in the MLive article was brief.
That's, if I may, we go through this periodically all the time. That's not a necessary requirement of, I don't know what occurred this time that made it different. Me personally, I don't know what occurred.
So how normal is this
occurrence? We always put out these
occurrence?
notices. We always, since I've been here, we've always put out these notices because of rain events. We have major rain events that cause that, make it necessary because the retention is full. But this is nothing new. What occurred this time is nothing more that has happened in the city the 6 years that I've been here.
So I think, in all fairness, when you live along that river, you don't want to smell partially treated sewage. I don't.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak in the first round of discussion?
Yep.
Councilman Pfeiffer.
Mr. Edwards, this is the first time hearing of this too, so what caused the spillage? Do we know that?
It's just
the rain?
Yeah, we have rain events. We have a retention basin that's at the plant.
Okay.
And so when the retention basin is full or gets to that full, we have to release so that we release partially treated. So it's not untreated.
Okay, so it is partially treated.
It is partially, yes,
so,
sir.
Is there, are we, with the because it was partially treated, do residents have to avoid contact with the river or anything like that? Or like, I know some people fish, I don't know if they're fishing, I mean,
It is all, you know, I mean, that would primarily be a conversation with Ms. Best, but I do know that because the release has to be reported to Eagle, it has to meet certain standards and requirements that they have already laid out for us in terms of partially treated sewage.
what does partially treated mean? Can you go into?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay.
No, I wouldn't know, I don't know the details of
No, I understand.
how far it's
understand.
gone through the process. I know the whole process, but I could not tell you how far it's gone through that
Okay,
process.
I got you. Okay. I was just wondering if, because with that code red or whatever, like, to my colleague's point in the 6th Ward, should we be telling residents to avoid contact with the river? Should we tell people if you're, I mean, because today was almost a summer day, you know, tell people not to fish in there. Like, I don't know what the extent of that release and the potential dangers of that partially treated is. So I guess I don't have any comments because I don't know
I think
if it is a
there's some
danger.
Other, at one point in time, there was other stuff in there that probably would discourage fishing in that particular
You would
location.
think, but.
Yeah, I would think so, but, yeah, that's.
Well, I know that, like, so when we open up the trail and the DNR stuff and like people, there's like kayak stuff is proposed in the river. So are we going to update any of our processes for that if we have a partially treated during, when we open it up to kayakers or whatever, you know, part of the state park?
I think that, and Jeanette will probably be better to answer that question, but I think what we do flows downriver. Where they're talking about kayaking is upriver.
Okay, makes sense. All right, thank you, sir.
Are there any more questions in the first round of discussion? Any questions in the second round? Seeing as how there are no more questions, we will move on to the roll call vote for Resolution 260074, which is a change order for street pump station rehabilitation. Roll call, Madam Secretary.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Al-Amin? Dr. Lewis is absent. Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
You have 8 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 8 yes, 0 no. That resolution is approved.
Madam
Moving
Chair.
on to the
Madam
final. Councilman Pfeiffer.
I make a motion to postpone indefinitely Resolution 260067.
Thank you. There is a motion to postpone indefinitely Resolution 260067, made by Councilman in the 8th Ward, supported by the councilman in the 1st Ward. Roll call, Madam Secretary.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Trying to get his attention.
Is not in. Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Al-Amin? Yes. Dr. Lewis is absent. Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley? You have 7 yes, 0 no.
Wording that wrong. 7 yes, 0 no. That it is postponed indefinitely. Motion to adjourn, anyone?
So moved.
Motion to adjourn by the councilman in the 8th Ward, supported by the councilman in the 1st Ward. Roll call, Madam Secretary.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett? Mr. Al-Amin? Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley? Ms. Winfrey Carter? The vote is 8 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 8 yes, 0 no. The time is 8:15 on Monday, March 9th. This city council meeting is adjourned.